So, you're a new recruit to Rainbow Six Siege. You're about to join one of the greatest gaming communities out there, but you may be wondering, what is Rainbow Six? Rainbow Six is a game where multiplayer is at the center of the experience, focusing on gameplay that is just the right mix of tactics, destruction, and unique heroes that we call our operators. This video will help you learn everything you need to know before your first steps in Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six features 3 different team deathmatch online game modes: Hostage, Secure Area, and Bomb. At the beginning of each round, there will be time for preparation. Defenders will be able to set their defenses with a variety of tools and gadgets. Attackers can send drones to recon the map, locate threats, objectives, and prepare their attack. But whether attacking or defending, knowing which operator to choose will have a big impact on your game. Operators are truly the heroes of Rainbow Six Siege, choosing amongst dozens of highly trained operatives from all over the world. Each operator is specialized in either offense or defense, owning tools and gadgets unique to them. Some operator gadgets allow them to set traps, others excel at breaching. Mastering each skill and gadget will be key to your survival. But choosing your operator is only a fraction of the equation, as an effective team is more than the sum of its parts. In Rainbow Six, you're only as good as your team, so play with your friends or let the matchmaking pick teammates for you. While there's no respawning and no second chances, once your operator is down, you can still exploit security cameras or remaining player drones to help your team achieve victory. Because each environment brings its own challenges, working, planning, and executing together with your team will be key to your success. There are a variety of maps to choose from, with more being released all the time. No two are alike, so you'll need to adapt your strategy, tactics, and choose your operators accordingly. Some will force close encounters. As for others, mastering medium and long-range engagement will be key. In Rainbow Six Siege, you have to always mind your surroundings. Environmental destruction is core to the game experience. When defending, you'll have to take into consideration that windows, walls, and even ceilings can be breached. So reinforce your position and be ready for anything. Rainbow Six Siege is constantly evolving, with free updates, new maps, and operators. But it's more than a game. It's a thriving community with 25 million players and counting. And the community is more alive than ever. Rainbow Six is a game built for gamers with a competitive spirit who won't back down from a challenge. And now, it's your turn to play.
he is asleep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here, week 5 of the Women's League. We are down to the wire, the last few games of the regular season before we get finals underway next week. My name is Milboss. Joining me is Cthulhu for tonight's action, and we have some pretty important games coming up tonight. Obviously, we've got some massive ones to decide not only who's going to come in first place, Trinity, they've got a chance to top out the leaderboard. We've also got VikingArmy and Enix going at it later tonight as well. So look forward to those ones. Cthulhu, any sort of preconceptions about what we're going to see tonight?
To me, both Enix, Enix and Trinity did show some good promise. Trinity mainly here, as they have been pretty much sitting around the top 2 positions quite confidently.
Yeah.
On the side of Enix versus Viking, both those rosters have been improving pretty well over the course of all the past few weeks. So, honestly, I reckon we might be seeing a few really close matchups here.
Yeah, well, we've got some pretty good matchups going on tonight. We will get into them in just a moment. But if you guys did miss last week, we do have a little video here to show you some of the highlights. You gotta get into the room.
It was Titan versus Titan in the 4th week of the XPWL Rainbow Six Siege Women's League, as the Valiant Vertex went head-to-head with Trinity for an unforgettable series, with both teams claiming one map aside in a dominant fashion.
Comes the Monty, but no, Buddha got other ideas, and somehow survives that one.
And that is actually Minxie from below, actually, who did do quite some damage with those impact grenades, and she will be able to actually deny the bandit's position, but instead it will be Lola denying the head of Minxie. Oh my.
They seem to be committing to this. Chaotic still getting droned out here. They're just going for a shot through the wall. There you go, Minxie. I think right now, no one else in this server really has the gun skill to match. Oh, look at that. Fatari, that's dirty. You can't do that. This is a pro league game. Playing this one by ear. Oh, that's going to do it. There we go. Trinity finally getting on the board. She goes for the wall bang.
Attackers activating diffuser.
Fuse is going to go down, but she's going to find the kill. There we go, Trinity.
Defenders have located the
They keep their flawless half alive to start things off here. She needs to go for it. She runs across the screen. Oh my God, Yummy. That is dirty.
The 5-player army of NootNoot claimed what was rightfully theirs, striking Enix where it hurt for a glorious 2-game result.
Oh, Bear with a shot through the wall, but Connie responded with 2, so it leaves Bear 1 versus 3.
Albeit I'm not too sure if she actually does realize that the down did happen, but Enix, fantastic take.
Oh my God, Connie.
left the designated staging area.
Hello, Jordan.
The headshot comes through from Jordan. And she just about almost finds it, but she'll get dropped there. Oh, funny.
Oh my, talking about this being not it, Chief. Coney goes in for an aggressive peek, gets a double.
That's huge. Not only did Mazakin find that information that the mirror was there, but the mirror saw the drone. So she should have been expecting the push coming out of Garrett, but she doesn't.
We would like to thank our sponsors, Legion Energy and Computer Alliance, as well as our partner Ubisoft, for supporting women in gaming.
Well, there we have it, week 4 in the books, and obviously a massive couple of games there. We saw Vertex versus Trinity and NootNoot going up against Enix, and some kind of surprising results there. If we throw it back, we saw a 1-to-1 series split between Vertex and Trinity, which was not unexpected. We thought they'd be pretty close, but the way it happened in both games being blowouts by either team, I don't think either of us really saw that coming.
Yeah, definitely, at least after the first map, it was definitely looking like Vertex would the one that would take it pretty much all the way, but a really nice comeback there by Trinity on the second map was definitely well warranted for them. So both the teams trading, funnily enough, I believe it was their opponent's map picks as well.
Yeah.
It's also quite a fun showcase. And to wrap up the previous week as well, NootNoot versus Enix being a 2-0, was somewhat kind of expected it, but at the same time, it was still a very unpredictable game.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say we didn't really know what to fully expect out of either of these teams. NootNoot realistically had been underperforming in some of the recent games, and they seemed like they should be a solid roster that can be at the top of the leaderboards, but they were just stuck almost perfectly in the middle there with a very low round differential, and just felt like we didn't know where they sort of fitted in the grand scheme of things. But they did well there. Enix had a couple of decent rounds, but I think in the end, NootNoot, they were just a bit too strong there. So they're going to be playing up against Trinity tonight. That's really going to be a test for them. What do you think about that match that we're going to see coming?
Yeah, tonight's match for Enix is going to be quite a challenge, considering that VikingArmy were seeing more and more improvement after each one of their matches. So, firstly, I'm very much curious as to how much did this time VikingArmy improve, and second of all, how will Enix be able to respond? Because after such a blowout against NootNoot, things weren't looking all pretty. Whereas for the second matchup that we will be seeing later on tonight, I'm quite confident in the fact that Trinity might just close it out.
Yeah, it seems like Trinity should. I mean, that's their opportunity to get to the top of the rankings. Speaking of, let's bring those up now and have a quick little look at the rankings after week 4. Vertex still up in the top of the leaderboard, as we sort of expected, but they do have their bye this week. So Trinity, as I said, can get to the top of that leaderboard depending on how they play against NootNoot. I think it's also fair to say that NootNoot, after last week, showed a lot of improvement as a squad, and I think that they will take a troublesome test to Trinity, if you will. Then at the bottom, we've got VikingArmy and Enix. They're going to be playing first up tonight. I think it sounds bad to say, but it is realistically the battle for the bottom.
Yeah, as sad as it sounds, it is will be one of those kind of battles as to which team will result in being at the very bottom of the leaderboard. But nonetheless, it still should be a pretty close one, considering that, well, for Enix, statistically, it's not looking all pretty, but this is probably going to be the closest one for them. Yeah,
well, hopefully for their sake, they're able to get something out of this. And I think, VikingArmy definitely, they've shown a bit of improvement. A lot of the players not really coming from Rainbow Six, so it is good to see them actually taking some decent rounds off some of the teams. But let's have a look at our schedule. We've already slightly spoken about it already. Round 5, VikingArmy and Enix going to be going up. Who's going to get the wooden spoon? We'll find out later. And NootNoot Trinity. I'm excited to see what NootNoot has for us. I reckon that they can bring the fight a little bit stronger to Trinity. But then again, you've got Trinity. They're only 3-round difference away from being level with Vertex. And on top of that, they've got that game in hand.
Yeah, it's been that kind of very much of a stark difference between, say, the top 2 of the teams so far within the Women's League and then the rest of the teams, because we saw a fair few teams to be just formed right before the beginning of the Women's League as well. So there are a few kind of maybe chemistry issues here and there between the players. Maybe there's also some of the experience or maybe the lack of it that comes into play occasionally. So there are a few factors here and there, but it's definitely been quite an adventure and quite a nice storyline forming around each and every team here, really.
Yeah, it's nice to see that come out of something. The Women's League is such a new thing. We've only had 5 weeks of play, or 4 weeks, and now the 5th week coming up today of play. So there hasn't really been a lot of time, but we've been able to establish some strong storylines, some strong players, some really key aspects that I'm looking forward to how that progresses going forward into potentially 2nd, 3rd, 4th seasons. So it is definitely an exciting time if you are in the world of the Women's Rainbow Six Siege League. But let's have a look at our matchups tonight. Kicking it off with VikingArmy going up against Enix. Very, very unsure as to where we really place these teams, because they've shown some promise. Enix had some decent rounds against NootNoot, for example, last week, but it just seems like they fell short a couple of times.
Yeah, with VikingArmy, it was one of those moments when you would see them perform very well at the beginning. They would show some promise in theoretical kind of knowledge as to how to approach either attack or defense, but then just having that kind of lack of being able to close out some of these rounds, close out some of the firefights, and just making some of the micro mistakes that do end up resulting in them losing out on some of those rounds. So they are backed up theoretically. It's just they need to figure out how to get the practice done. Whereas for Enix, it's one of those kind of moments where it's they like VikingArmy, they have more or less the knowledge of the theoretical part as to how, in theory, it should work, but certain moves pretty much prevent them from finding the success there. So it's definitely going to be a close one, and it's rather going to be more of a battle of which team can emphasize harder on the mistakes of another team.
Yeah, I mean, they played pretty well against NootNoot last week. We had Border, and then we had Bank. On Bank, there were just a couple of occasions where Enix, they just ran out of time, and it just seemed a little bit like, as you say, they've got the right ideas. They just didn't know how to execute them in the end. Let's take a look at these rosters, though. Enix and, of course, VikingArmy are going to be our first two teams. Let's see what Enix has on their roster. We've got Amballs, Chi, Hard Explodes, Mint Tippett, Kirovsky, I should say, sorry, Domino Jack, and Burner Bear. Burner Bear really being that carry for the team last week.
Yeah, a fair few players from that team were showing quite some promise. I mean, honestly, with the way how things been going, even the Burner Bear was popping off quite heavily in the matchup, or consistently hitting those double digits as well. So personally, my eyes are going to be on her performance, and then see how will the rest of her team actually follow up, because Mint Tippett also was able to find some really nice frags. Same goes for Amballs as well. So it's just overall is just how the overall morale is going to look. I reckon then we'll be seeing how will the remaining of the performance actually come out there for the team.
Yeah, well, let's swap it over, have a look at VikingArmy, what they are working with this week. We've got Amber, Weird One, Chrissy, Monica, Soy, and Pippo Ping. We've seen a little bit of all of these guys. They have done a couple of substitutions in and out. We've seen some interesting play, I will say, from this squad, but I think definitely one of the teams that has most players not coming from a Siege background or even a PC gaming background. I think that has harmed them a little bit, but they have shown a lot of promise, and they're not at the bottom of the leaderboard at the moment, so they definitely could stay up and have that place to go for the third place playoff next week.
Yeah, I mean, if they do manage to net themselves those quick 2 map wins, they could definitely propel themselves quite high on the leaderboard. So it definitely also, as much as it is a chance for Enix to redeem themselves, this is as much of a big chance for VikingArmy to push themselves even further up on the leaderboard. So this is definitely going to be one of those matches where almost at this point, every round would really count.
Yeah, 100%. Well, let's take a look now at our map ban phase, or pick ban phase, whatever you want to call it, here between Enix and VikingArmy. We'll start it off with Enix. They've decided to pick Villa. They banned out Clubhouse and Bank. We haven't really seen much or any of Villa so far this season.
Yeah, I believe so. And with Villa, it's one of those maps that does allow you to have quite a vast roam play. As well as that, you can also, whilst having that roam and say 1 or 2 players, the rest of the roster can just pretty much hunker down on the side and just not allow any push to really happen. You can have, say, for example, Kayet and Bandit to deny the breach. You can have Mute on site to deny the drones, and then, say, have Vigil and Jaeger on that roam and just be that continuous thorn in the back of the opposing team.
Yeah, well, then we go over to the second map. It's going to be Kafe. VikingArmy banning out Border and Coastline there. So also haven't seen a lot of Kafe. I think it's fair to say one of the more well-known maps amongst Rainbow Six players, so it might be why they've lent that way, because it is a pretty easy map to play online a lot. It comes up a lot in ranked play or casual play, that sort of thing. So I think it's fair to say probably trying to play to their strengths as opposed to their opposition's weakness here.
Yeah, and with Villa to have VikingArmy to start on defense, I would be expecting that we will be seeing some maybe initial advantage here from VikingArmy, considering that a whole lot of times and a whole lot of maps do allow the defense to be having a little bit of that extra something to it.
Yeah, I definitely think so, and I think it's going to be a fun one to watch. But Villa is coming up first, so let's take a quick little look at the map. Okay. Here we go. Into map number 1. And it is Villa Millwall here, of course, but we have the special occasion of being joined by Pi from Trinity. Pi, how are you going?
Hi, I'm good, thanks.
It's good to hear. Well, we're going to get some of your insights because obviously you've been playing throughout the season and you've got a game coming up tonight. Guys, obviously having an absolutely amazing season so far. What are your sort of main thoughts? How do you feel going into this final week of games?
I think this game is going to be really interesting to watch. Enix versus VikingArmy. They're both tied or pretty similar at the bottom, as you said earlier. So I think personally that this is VikingArmy's chance to take it to 4th.
Yeah, well, of course, like if they do win this one, or at least stay, even if they trade maps, I believe they're going to stay in 4th place, which will net them a spot in the 3rd place playoff against likelihood being NootNoot. So in that sort of regards, do you think they really have a chance against NootNoot?
I think VikingArmy, since week 1, they've been improving really rapidly. Week 1 was a little bit interesting from them, but I think after seeing last week's performance, they definitely have a chance against NootNoot.
Well, hopefully for their sake, they're able to make that work. NootNoot dispatched of Enix relatively easily last week, so let's see if VikingArmy has a good chance against them as well. I think it's definitely probably one of the closer matchups here, though. Enix, we weren't really too sure until last week as to where they sat in the competition. I think it's fair to say if you were going to do power rankings, they're probably above VikingArmy, but we're yet to really be able to see VikingArmy have a more or less equal opponent. So this will be a good matchup in that regards. But here we go. Pick phase underway. We saw an interesting set of bans there. Mira hasn't been banned out, so that's one thing to look to. But we've got, of course, still the Thatcher and the Thermite gone. That's going to be interesting. Right. No. I guess they're going to have to probably use Buck here to stop the bandit traps or Zafia.
Maybe they'll 6 onto IQ.
Potentially. It's interesting that they haven't done so. There we go. Getting into the match.
Without that IQ ban, that Jaeger, Bandit, Mozzie, even Valk is going to get free roam on their gadgets.
That phase underway now. As we head into round number 1, and with Enix attacking this one, as you say, no IQ, they don't have a Thatcher or anything like that. They do have the hard breach there for Habana, but without someone to stop any of the bandit traps, could prove a difficult way to get into any of these sites here. But looking at VikingArmy, I mean, that's one thing I think week 1, you said that they weren't necessarily that familiar with a lot of aspects of the game and all that. Their setup has definitely improved, because I think one of the problems that they faced week 1 was they didn't really know how to start a defense and how to set up which walls to reinforce, where to put your rotation holes. In fact, they didn't really put many rotation holes into any walls between sites, and that did harm them a bit. So let's see how they go this time around. Getting things underway now with Enix on the offense, and let's have a look how they approach this.
They shouldn't be going for a strong, steady push due to the lack of Thatcher and Thermite to break through their walls.
Well, so far, no deaths to speak of. No one really trading shots. A really slow start here, as we're already down to 1 minute 50 mark. Finally, we're going to hear some shots ring out. That's going to be a weird one, finding the first frag onto Burnabear, but it will get traded out by Cairo. Oh, also 4 there. So Christie finding that one, leaving VikingArmy with the woman advantage here as we continue on. And I think finding that first frag is going to help them out a lot. Getting that all-important first kill nets them round number 1, and a very solid hold here. Let's get into round number 2. Do you think hopefully they're going to change their mind about not coming in with an IQ? Again. I mean, realistically, it didn't make much of a difference last round, but there we go. The 6th pick for the IQ is going to come through, but at the same time, Bandit is going to be 6th picked out for Valkyrie, so IQ is still going to be a very important aspect of this round.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Especially looking for those Valkyrie cams.
I think it's really interesting that they've chosen to go with a Habana instead of a Maverick, because the main thing that they'll be looking for with a Habana will be for statue wall. But with a Habana, you can only open up one side of it, or a few peek holes. Whereas with a Maverick, with a soft breacher, you could open up a lot more.
Yeah. It's good insight.
It's a pretty default hold. For statue and trophy, the default reinforcements, default rotations.
Remaining. 5 seconds left.
Only a couple seconds left until the action gets underway.
Attackers are moving.
Well, NXB just as slow as they were round number 1. They seem to just all be more or less peeking things one by one, which is never helpful.
There's an unreinforced wall in statue. Perhaps that's going to be taken advantage of, or maybe the reinforcements won't shed around properly.
I think, with teams not being super familiar necessarily, there can be a few mistakes like that made.
That might just be capitalized on by their Sophia.
Well, Enix. They're going to have
Closet's
to...
being droned out. Their Mozzie's being droned out.
Oh, yeah, true.
They know where she is. Are they going to push her?
Would have thought surely take the opportunity. Weird one, not really reacting enough to get out of the way of that.
Doesn't quite kill her, but she does move out of closet. No, she doesn't.
No, she hasn't moved, but she does stop one of the drones.
There is a
still know that
rotation. There's
she's
still
here.
2 more charges on that Jaeger.
A bomb has been located.
In fact, she is actually going to find first kill there onto Cairo. A bit traded out, but it's a little bit interesting, I'd say, from Enix there not to push her when they knew exactly where she was.
Now they have full control of both bathroom and the master bedroom.
You're getting some all-important map control now with 1 minute 10 on the clock.
They're not pushing for the soft wall on master bedroom. In fact, they're getting picked off by Chrissy.
Yeah, again, one by one, just going down. Not looking for trade opportunities either, it feels like. Heart Explodes on the IQ is going to be the last one alive.
It's going to be quite tough for her in this 1v4 situation. Diffuser's in bathroom and is being watched by Astro.
There we go. So we're going to take down Heart Explodes. Enix not off to a great start here. Round number 3. Getting this underway, and again, haven't decided to go with the IQ. Blackbeard this time coming out from Heart Explodes. Maybe not. There we go, 6th pick back onto the IQ. Finker coming in as well. One swapping Bandit out for Doc this time around.
It's a relatively similar defending operator lineup they had all 3 rounds.
Yeah, they haven't really changed things up much. We've seen Pip and Chrissy doing a bit of lurking. Chrissy obviously with the Jaeger makes it pretty easy. She's found 2 kills already. Pip on the Legion has been doing a little bit of roaming, not too far from home, but Bit of roaming nonetheless. Will be interesting to see if Ambles decides to use the Finker to go for some sort of Finker rush. Be an interesting use of her ability that is infamous now in Rainbow Six meme culture. As we get into round number 3 as the action phase starts. And here we go. Enix going to learn from their mistakes because, I mean, not only have they been had they lost the first 2 rounds, Viking, they've kept at least 3-4 players alive both times. So I think a problem here with Enix is they're not really finding any trade kills.
Enix going for the roam clear first, trying to push out any roamers. They've used an early adrenaline surge.
Yeah, interesting choice there. They haven't really done much with it, although here we go. Ambles will find the first kill onto Chrissy. So that's going to be the Jaeger roam out of action. Pip also going to go down. So Ambles finding some nice early kills here, and more importantly, the roamers. We will find one back onto Burnabear, but women advantage still in the hands of Enix. But weird one. She's going to level things out now.
Third adrenaline surge coming in. Every adrenaline surge she's been able to get a pick.
Yeah, so far a really good use of her ability there, but this time around, not going to happen. Weird one. Finds her second. Goes for more, actually, and gets some really nice shots into Mint Tippett. On the Zafir. She's gone very weak this time around. And Soy, she's just been holding the stairs the entire round, it seems like.
I don't think they actually know that Soy's on top red.
No.
Bomb located by attackers.
There we go. Weird One's going to find yet another, her third kill. Mint Tippett last alive. And that's not going to last for long. VikingArmy cleaning up house. Soy comes on through and finds the final kill onto Mint Tippett. I mean, I feel like she was on top of red stairs the entire round there. Just waiting for someone to potentially push past that little angle she was holding. Whether or not she went for the kill in those occasions or just called out for the information. Really important position to play there.
Now for round 4 of defense, they're back to where they started off in Aviator and Games. It's a very similar lineup on the defender side, and this time they picked an IQ for the Games room.
Yeah, first time they've decided to go this route.
Unless the IQ goes bottom to clear out those bandit charges, Havana's going to have a hard time pushing those study walls open. Maybe there'll be more of a coordinated strike this time with refracts, seen from Enix side.
Yeah, that's true.
Locate and defuse bombs.
Round number 4 getting underway. We do apologise if you are experiencing some sort of connection issues watching the stream. You know, potentially due to everyone being home at the moment with the current global situation. It is causing a much heavier toll on our internet, and everyone knows how amazing Australian internet is, so we apologise for that.
10 seconds remaining.
10 more seconds and we'll get round number 4 underway.
Seconds left. Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
So this time going for a vigil. That could change things up because Chrissy and Pip have been the two really going for the lurks. Now, Soy adding another 3-speed operator to the mix could definitely throw a spanner in the works here for Enix. I mean, they've found it hard to deal with the roaming so far.
So adding another one could change things up and make this an even quicker round once they actually get into the main portion of the map, the villa itself.
They're looking for a heavy push onto study. They're on study balcony right now with almost 4 of them. Ambrose is pushing up on landing. She's way behind, and I don't think anyone's noticed that she's there. No, but she gets picked off by Chrissy.
Yeah, there you go, Chrissy. Nice bit of game sense there. VikingArmy, very strong showing at the beginning of this one. I mean, is there any noticeable thing you can say that Enix can do to really turn the tide a bit here? Because at the moment, they're just getting cleaned up.
They really need to focus on their refragging potential. They're traveling in at least packs of 4, but they're not getting that refrag. I think maybe focusing on a three-person and two-person push, looking out for each other's backs, seeing if they have anything to cover up.
Yeah, I think that's definitely important. To make sure you can go for those trade frags straight away. And so far, yeah, you're accurate in saying Enix, they just haven't been doing it. They're just getting picked up one by one.
They're getting free frags over and over again on VikingArmy's side without punishment from Enix.
Yeah, Enix just not being able to find a way in, so to speak, as
Chrissy's going to find her second this round. That's Hard Explodes going down, and finally, Bernabeu will find one. She's actually going to find a double there. Pippin going down as well by Mint Tippett, so this is looking a little bit more even now. Potentially there's a chance here, but they've only got 25 seconds remaining. Not much time to make this one work. The Vigil from Soy is going to find yet another kill onto Bernabeu, and it's just Mint Tippett left.
15 seconds to go. 10 seconds to go.
There we go, Soy. Gonna find the final kill there. So the
Vigil play working out really well for it. Triple kill in this one. And so far, so good for VikingArmy. They're really stepping up here. And I mean, after what we saw from Enix last week against NootNoot, I would have expected maybe a little bit more, because they definitely showed a lot of potential last week, taking some good rounds there. But this time, VikingArmy just looking a little bit too strong.
It's a very interesting fuse pick they have there. Maybe they're looking to 6th off, especially with a Jaeger to counter it. Don't see much potential with it.
I mean, we've seen a bit of Fuse this season. Most of the time it's been with Pippa Ping. She seems to love a little bit of Fuse.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
But heading into the 5th round now, all signs point towards quite a swift Viking win here on the first map. And in fact, it's Enix's map pick as well. So far, a little bit surprising. I think it's fair to say, you've noticed a couple of times where they've, missed out reinforcing a wall or something like that, but
yeah,
Enix just unable to capitalize.
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds left.
Well, round 5 underway, action phase coming on through.
There's no rotation from Trophy into Astronomy Room, so maybe they're giving up that room for a stronger focus.
Yeah, could be. Well, there it is. Rotation hole comes through finally.
It's a bit risky, the rotation placing. Normally it's seen at the far end of the room, not closer to the door, purely because they'll window and give direct sightlines into sight.
That could prove to be a problem.
Let's see if Enix capitalizes on it.
So far, they've been a little bit lackadaisical when it comes to capitalizing on Vikings' mistakes, but hopefully, for their sake, they can make something work out here. Dinka again. This time, though, Amble's very low on HP already, taking some shots.
But with well-timed thinker adrenaline boost, that IQ could be sitting on a good amount of health. Oh, she could be sitting on a good amount of health.
Firing the first fatality. Feels like Enix are spending quite a lot of time outside, not really sure how to approach this, but that second adrenaline surge gonna be more or less wasted. Nothing really happens. And Chrissy is gonna capitalize on that, finds Amble, so no opportunity for a third. Gonna be there on the Ash trying to go for the quick one onto Weird One, but doesn't get it done. Weird One. I don't think she's moved from this position for a second time in a row. I thought maybe Enix would have expected her to be there, but no. He's able to just toy with them a little bit in the same position. So again, mid-tip of the line.
All the roamers from downstairs, all the roamers have retreated back into site.
I think it's a
quite a
smart
bit of
play.
time.
Yeah. Only 40 seconds left, and yeah, making all of your roamers return to site is just going to make life hell for these two Enix players to try and get in.
Yeah.
Tip are going to go down, leaving Heart Explodes last alive 1 versus 5. So that's going to be all she wrote. Chrissy finding the final frag there. VikingArmy. Very, very solid start to this one.
Enix made the right play, that push, by pushing out the downstairs roamers. However, they took way too long pushing them out, and perhaps there wasn't enough intel to suggest to them that the roamers had already been cleared out and been back to site. If they had known that, probably they could have pushed faster. They could have maybe rotated to master bedroom to push straight onto site, to pressure them, to pressure Weird One in that closet who didn't move that entire round.
Yeah. Well, last round of the half. 6 pick for the Twitch. Going to come on through here for Cairo.
Twitch has recently seen some nerfs, so she's not quite as played these days, with her drone having a larger cooldown on the zap.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah, that and not only that, but it seems like, I mean, Viking, they're not really running with too many equipment heavy operators, I should say. Like, maybe if they pulled out, I don't know, a Mirror or a Valkyrie like they had earlier, it would make a bit more sense, but
Attackers have located a bomb.
I think Enix's biggest problem right now is taking down those roamers and having a decisive push while keeping an eye on refragging. I think they should have focused on operators with more gadgets that are tailored towards that, such as a Lion or a Jackal, to just clear out those roamers and have that security.
VikingArmy going for that flawless victory at the moment, 5-0.
Seems very likely.
Does indeed. Enix just struggling on so many counts. As we now start to see players pushing on in. We saw some decent drone usage from Enix at the start, but it seems to have fallen off a little bit. Bear doing what she can with Jackal to find those roamers. So far, not super successful, I'll be honest, but there she goes. She's going to find Mozzie. Weird One, though, no matter how many times she's been droned out or spotted or whatever, she still manages to make something work. And she's going to evade that as well.
They had the scan on Weird One, and yet they didn't push it. It seems like they're quite scared.
Yeah. I mean, pre-aiming everything, it's not a bad idea, but my lord, it's not really working out for them.
With droners on your team, you really shouldn't be pre-aiming. You should know quite exactly where they are. Rainbows upstairs still are not being cleared out.
Again, they've used another one of the Jackal's trackings and haven't capitalized on that. Weird one of Mons. They're going to come through with 2 quick kills, and Bernabeu on the Jackal. She's gone down. Chrissy just comes through with a quick double kill, finding Kyra. And now it's just Hard Explodes, 1 versus 5.
And she doesn't have a diffuser.
It's going to be a flawless 6-0 half here for VikingArmy. Really strong showing, and they do not want to end up with a wooden spoon at the end of tonight. We'll find one though. Chris is going down, but now they know where she is. There we have it. VikingArmy. They're going to come on through. Soy's going to find that last kill.
It might be interesting to see how Enix defends and how VikingArmy attacks. Perhaps it could be a general shift in direction. Maybe VikingArmy's weakness is refragging as well. Maybe they're not as equipped to attack.
I mean, there's definitely a case for that. And this is Enix's pick, so you would have thought or hoped that they had something up their sleeves.
They're actually going for a Kaid and a Newt for the trophy. They're going for trophy and statue room first, actually, instead of the standard games and aviator. Maybe this is the trick.
Could be.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Here we go. Got one opportunity here, Enix, to keep this map alive before we head to map 2, which is Vikings pick.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
Similar situation here for Enix. They haven't gone for that rotation hole early, nor have they gone for it on the
Attackers have located a bomb.
left-hand side of the wall there. Like you said, is probably the more preferable side to do it on. So,
5 seconds left before insertion.
interesting choice.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
A pretty standard sort of setup otherwise. VikingArmy,
Attackers have recovered
what do you guys have on attack here? I mean, it feels like they've really adapted quite well, quite quickly here, VikingArmy, to playing in the league. They've improved a hell of a lot. As I said earlier, Pippo Ping, she's gone for that fuse.
The old trusty.
Exactly, but at least they've got the IQ to potentially be able to counter the ADS from... Well, they don't even have the ADS. They don't have a Jaeger, so realistically, there's not much that's going to be stopping Pip here and using the fuse charges. Shot's going down, but first kill's going to come through from Bernabeu. Onto Soy, so a good start here for her. Although she has gone down very considerably, or potentially only like 4 or 5 HP, so...
But again, we don't see that instant push back from VikingArmy to refrag her. She's going to be on low health, but she's going to live.
First set of first set of fuse charges are going to come through. Yep, just sitting around on the wall there. Kyra a little bit weak as well.
Bernabeu gets the other pick onto Chrissy and Study, and that's all the roam clearers cleared out. Bernabeu is now free to roam and rotate how she wants to. But it doesn't quite seem like they're pushing in any other direction except for Master Bedroom.
Well, that might change here. Pippo Ping rotating around to another position, and one's a weird one coming up red stairs now.
Putting down the nomads to prevent any more flanking. Bernabear's in 90 on classical hall, and she gets taken down from Red Stairs.
Yeah, there you have it. Quick little shot there. Will secure the kill.
They could still have the advantage here with Cairo being half health.
Yeah, it's going to make it a lot easier for them to find that kill. Ambles, she will trade. Sorry, no, she will get 2 there. All of a sudden, her and the HUD explodes. They're just going to find all of the 3 remaining players, and Enix, they're going to survive yet another round.
Yeah, maybe this is it. Maybe Enix was prepared for defense more than attack. They seem to have more coordination. They seem to be moving with more purpose on defense.
Yeah. A little bit more organized, so
Definitely.
that could be interesting because, you know, there is obviously the potential of a draw. We don't have overtime enabled for the regular season matches. So let's see how they approach the 8th round now.
This time Soy, not taking any more chances, goes on a Jackal to prevent any more roaming.
Yeah, so it's a good choice, I think, from it. And not just that, but that will take away the IQ, which could harm the ability of both Pip to use the fuse charges and Mons to use the Hibana, as they have gone for a Jaeger this time around. Bernabear bringing him out. Like Bernabear, Mint Tippet, and Heart Explodes just having a little chin wag in the corner there. For some reason, Pippa Ping's name is coming on top of the bomb.
That's probably where she is on her drone, top of the bomb.
A good place to have it, if she's able to keep it alive there.
It's a frost map behind a deployable shield, one of the oldest tricks in the book. Hopefully no one falls for that.
Well, hopefully Pip's drone saw that, so they'll be aware of it. As see them start to filter on through here, Chrissy and Soy together.
They have quite a strong presence on site and right below site. There's 4 members on site right now, with Bernabear being the sole roamer. It's not going to be much to Jackal.
Yeah, and I mean, if Soy's able to find her with the Jackal, that should be a quick, easy kill.
Yes.
What you'd want to see here is someone go with her so they can rush for that kill and potentially, if they need to, go for their trade.
Potentially having the Frost flank with her. Having a duo roam is much stronger than a solo, especially when we know there's a Jackal.
Yeah. And what else is there really for Frost to do in the rest of the round?
It's the same
Put down
thing with
your
Jaeger.
mats. This is true.
And potentially Capcan.
Yeah. Most of the trap operators make for decent roamers. Don't see start to this one, but Bernabear is going to get found by Soy there, so the Jackal coming in handy. Kicks off their campaign. Yeah. Our position that we saw defensively used by VikingArmy earlier in the game, and now they're going for the offense on it. They're very close here to sight.
VikingArmy's going for a complete collapse upon sight. They're going in it from all directions.
That's going to be huge from Soy. She's going to find a second one. Do they know about the frost trap, though? It's lying in wait just for her.
Bomb located by attackers.
The ADS is going to stop any flashes coming through, anything the VikingArmy throw at it.
Don't see much droning from VikingArmy's side.
They did a decent amount at the start. Mons is going to find the third one. Finally, Heart Explodes is going to be able to trade that out, but it's just 2 versus 4 now. Enix
Bomb diffuser.
in a very, very weak position. Potentially the end of map number 1. It looks like it might just be, but Cairo is going to find yet another. Mons goes for the diffuser here. Going to get that one. Cairo, she's going to find Chrissy as well.
Activating the diffuser.
1 versus 1. She's brought it all the way back.
They had a visual ping onto.
There we go,
Mons.
Mons. She's going to find it. That's map number 1 in the books. VikingArmy winning 7-1 in the first map of the night. And of course, we've got their map pick coming up next as well. That's going to be Kafe. So a huge victory here for Viking. Very strong showing. Or dominance even. But there we have it. Very solid performance from Soy, 11-2. Massive from her. Pi, what do you think about a match like that? After we've seen Enix, they've been a strong team, sometimes a little bit weaker now. Now they just look like they've completely collapsed against a team that they realistically should be able to beat.
I think that it was really disappointing seeing Enix having a really weak attack. They didn't capitalize on any of the kills that they had received. They didn't capitalize on any of the wrong reinforcements. It's like they didn't spot it. So it was quite disappointing to see that when VikingArmy had made mistakes. They had made things that could be potentially, round losing. So.
Well, there you have it. Number 1 in the books. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize again for any of the internet issues that you are experiencing of the stream. We're going to quickly try and restart everything and get it all going on our end. So just bear with us and we'll be back in a moment.
It was Titan versus Titan in the 4th week of the XPEsports Rainbow Six Siege Women's League as the Valiant Vertex went head-to-head with Trinity for an unforgettable series, with both teams claiming one map aside in a dominant fashion.
Here comes the Monty, but no, Buddha got other ideas and somehow survives that one.
And that is actually Minxie from below, actually, who did do quite some damage with those impact grenades, and she will be able to actually deny the bandit's position, but instead it will be Lola denying the head of Minxie. Oh my.
I mean, they seem to be committing to this. Chaotic still getting droned out here. They're just going for shots through the wall. There you go, Minxie. I think right now, no one else in this server really has the gun skill to match. Oh, look at that. Kotari, that's dirty. You can't do that. This is a pro league game. Playing this one by ear. Oh, that's going to do it. There we go. Trinity finally getting on the board. She goes for the wall bang.
Attackers activating the
Fuse is going to go down, but she's going to find the kill. There we go, Trinity.
Defenders have located the
They hit their flawless half a life to start things off here. She needs to go for it. She runs across the screen. Oh my God, Yummy. That is dirty.
The 5-player army of NootNoot claimed what was rightfully theirs, striking Enix where it hurt for a glorious 2-game result.
Oh, Bernabear with a shot through the wall, but Connie responds with 2, so it leaves Bernabear 1 versus 3.
Albeit I'm not too sure if she actually does realize that the down did happen, but Enix, fantastic take.
Oh my God,
Defender has
Connie.
left the designated staging area.
Oh, hello, Jordan.
The headshot
Nice
comes
shot.
through from Jordan. And she just about almost finds it, but she'll get dropped there.
Oh.
Oh, Chloe.
Oh my, talking about this being not it, Chief Coney goes in for an aggressive peek, gets a double.
That's huge. Not only did Mazakin find that information that the mirror was there, but the mirror saw the drone. So she should have been expecting the push coming out of Garrett, but she doesn't.
We would like to thank our sponsors, Legion Energy and Computer Alliance, as well as our partner Ubisoft, for supporting women in gaming.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We did the old turn it off and back on again, and it looks like we are all good to go. Melville's here, of course, joined by Cthulhu. We have Pi in the background. She doesn't have a webcam on, but that's okay. She's going to be joining us for map number 2. Pardon me. Sorry. Between these two teams. Again, of course, my cough comes when I'm like right on camera. I can't do anything about it. Enix VikingArmy, map 1. Cthulhu, you were there observing it for us. What's your take on what we just saw?
I mean, honestly, it just looked like VikingArmy were through and through on in charge of the pace. They on their defense, it was really well held. They had some really good roaming to be being set up there for themselves, and the rest of the roster being able to just keep holding their ground and just aggress whenever needed and respond back to some of the aggression that Enix initially tried to pull off. Definitely seemed to have worked out really, really well. So going into the second map being Kafe, honestly, my prediction is going once again in favor of VikingArmy here.
Yeah, I mean, they look really strong there, Pi. What's your sort of thought process going into Kafe? If you're there?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you there?
I think Kafe is a very technically challenging map where it utilizes a lot of operator utility, really important. I think it's, in my opinion, it's quite defender-sided, and attackers need a coordinated push in order to clap onto the roamers and then clap onto the site. It benefits vertical play, so if the site is below, you attack from above, you try and open up the soft floors or the soft walls to gain a line of sight onto the objective.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, like, if there's one thing that we saw in that first map that it could definitely be to Enix's downfall, it is their lack of team play. It is their lack of working together, going for whether it be a push together or at least teaming up so we could get trades in. They seem to be lacking in that department. But let's take a quick look at Kafe before we get map 2 underway. Well, here we go. Map number 2 underway. And get into this operator pick ban phase, or the ban phase at least, start things off. Anything that we're expecting to see get banned out here, Pi?
I think if they're smart, they'll go for at least one hard breacher ban on the attackers, as well as a Thatcher. Thatcher is a very good overall map-wise ban. He denies any gadgets on the opposing team. He's very good, just overall gadget killer. I think on defense, we'll see at least one intel operator banned. That would be either Echo, Valk, or Maestro. My money is on the Echo due to his ACOG.
Yeah, that's true. ACOG can be pretty overpowered in certain situations. Monty going to be the second ban by VikingArmy this time around. And here we go, banning defenders. Let's see if your predictions hold true. As first ban will come through here, VikingArmy. They're going to knock out Echo. There you go. On point.
It's very good as well for Viking due to Enix being on defense first, banning out that Echo, locking that ACOG out. Echo overall requires very specific gadget countering. There's 2 intel operators being banned. So.
Well, there we go. It's just going to be the Valkyrie left in terms of intel operators. But yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. Echo is an operator that we have seen Enix use a little bit. Mind you, I think it was Chi who was doing that, if I'm not mistaken. I could be, correct me if I'm wrong in chat. I know you're always hanging around, Chi. I'm probably wrong, let's be honest. But here we go. Map number 2, round number 1, underway in just a moment. As we see now, the Valkyrie will come out for Enix, and Viking on the offense to start things off. Let's see how they handle this on their map pick.
They have Pipo on Fuse again, the old trusty.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Yep, she loves that one. First round, they're going to be upstairs in the bar.
It's very strong defender-sided objective.
Yeah. It's difficult to get into. There's not a lot of access points. You know, you've got that one hatch above the red stairs, which is always going to be
Heavily
a
protected.
prime, protected target there. And then also on the other side of the map, the stairs there are one of your other options, and that's no easier either. So
The majority of entry points into this site and into the surrounding sites are purely just the windows.
yeah, more or less. I mean, the windows, I've seen some pretty nutty things coming from attackers standing at windows, but it does make it a lot harder to get into this top floor here. And they're going to go for it.
Attackers dropped the diffuser. Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Straight up white stairs. Enix is just going to be holding that one. Looks like it's Burner Bear there. So, putting one of your arguably stronger players on one of the main choke points is going to be a massive advantage for them.
Same thing on the Viking army side, putting Soy on the Jackal to roam clear.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things we saw that was super effective for Viking on their defense, and Enix tried it on theirs, but they only had the 1 round to do it. 1 round where it worked, rather 2 rounds to do it. Viking seemed to be a bit more effective at clearing out the roamers in that last map, so I think Soy ended up with a triple kill in the last round. Map number 1 because of it, so see how they go. Approaching red stairs.
Seems like Viking army's preferring to push up the stairs rather than focus on the windows or the hatches. In fact, Chrissy is actually quite close to on-site. She is about 2 steps away.
Yeah, she's just sort of chilling.
They know she's there with that camera spotting her.
It's going to have to be huge here from Cairo to hold through that murder hole, but the first fire is going to go down. Yeah, Chrissy on the Ash, she's going to go down straight away. Cairo using the murder hole to her advantage. Weird One will trade it out, though. Burner Bear going down over at White Stairs, so that does open one side of the map up, but there we go, Cairo. Again, she might even find a third here. She will. As they just keep peeking her one by one. They don't know where to look for it. Weird One will trade out another onto Ambles, but Viking, what are you doing?
That angle that she's using right there behind the desks is actually quite defender-sided. If you're an attacker and peeking there, you actually can't see any bullet holes, you can't see any punch holes. It's completely invisible. Whereas from Amble's point of, or from Cairo's point of view, she can see everything.
Well, she's found the fourth, and hell, might as well go for the ace at this point. It's just going to be Pippa live with the fuse.
15 seconds
She's
remaining.
downstairs with 15 seconds and no diffuser in sight.
10 seconds left.
She's probably not going to be able to get anything done in this one. In fact, I don't think she even knows where to go. Maybe I'm familiar with the map here, as that's gonna do it there.
Operators, you have run out of time.
Enix winning
Denied
the first
ace.
round. Yeah, as you say, a very defensively sided map, and especially that that first set of bomb sites, one of the harder ones to break into, probably in all of Siege. So as we head into the second round, Kitchen and I was going to say Kitchen and Kitchen, but it's the same place. Kitchen is going to be the location here
Kitchen.
for the bomb site. As going to see an IQ come out from Soy this time around. We didn't really see much heavy roaming from Enix in that first round, but potentially not really that necessary on that particular set of bomb sites. So
Defenders, protect your bombs.
see if they go for a little bit more this time around as we head down into the basement.
IQ is a very strong pick against Enix right now, with Enix having all 5 of their operators being gadgets that IQ can spot and destroy with her gadget.
Yeah, she's going to be vital going up against, the Bandit Tricks, the Jaeger ADSs, Capcan Traps, and Mozzie as well. Really,
10 seconds
so it's going to be
remaining.
the
Attackers have discovered
linchpin
the
of
location a
the
bomb.
success for VikingArmy this round.
5 seconds left before insertion.
It's quite interesting though, because normally you see a Buck being played on Kafe quite often, no matter what side it is.
Yeah.
Buck with his skeleton key able to destroy soft surfaces quite easily, especially with Kitchen being on the bottom floor and all the ceiling above it being soft. It's a really key opportunity to just open up an angle on top of them and kill them through that.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right there. It's actually, I didn't really think about the fact that we didn't see a Buck come through, but probably one of the, if not the most influential attacking operators on Kafe, at least, because it feels like at least every surface is soft for the most part here on this map. So see how they go about this one. They are prepared for the roam here, and I think I did see Burner Bear going a little bit away from the site. Maybe it was someone else. I'm not 100% sure. No, it wasn't Burner Bear.
Attackers dropped the diffuser. Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Mint Tippet. That's going to be Mozzie up here in Train Museum as Viking. Oh, they might just see a Chrissy. Pip's going to walk on through with the Zafira as well.
If they can drone her out, that would be a very easy clap from 2 sides. Easy pinch. They've droned her out. They've actually marked her. They know she's behind the train.
This is where you collapse. Find that quick kill.
We see Soy going for the collapse on the other side.
And there we go. First kill goes down for VikingArmy. So very nicely done, but they have used up a lot of time doing it. Only 1 minute 20 remaining out of the 3 minutes allocated. So not even half of their time left.
It's actually
Now-
quite funny because people on the fuse would actually be really strong on this map because they've claimed 3rd floor and 2nd floor control. All there is to wipe out everyone on site and in bakery, which the fuse could easily do.
Well, she's decided to change operators up and gone for a little bit of vertical control using the Ash charges by the looks of things. But
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
that's not what you want to see. Ambles going to be able to find Weird One with the bomb, with the diffuser, sorry, just running straight towards her. Yep, now trying to find the trade kill, but the aim's not good.
She's going with the LMG.
There are some interesting choices being made here by VikingArmy, and that is another one to add to the list, but seriously, she's going to get taken down by Ambles as well. Ambles doing a really good job right now, just staying up and stopping the team from being able to get on through to the site. 10 seconds remaining. She's going to find a third. Finally goes down to Mons. Mons and Pip, the last hopes here for survival. The shots will go through, and that's going to be Cairo finding the final kill. Ambles actually gets 4 kills with the Capcan trap there.
I think the Capcan trap was so effective at slowing down that last, 15-second push. They were desperate on time. They needed to get onto site and plant, and those Capcan traps just stopped it.
Well, round number 3 getting underway, and we're going to head towards a reading room and fireplace for the next set of bomb sites. Right now, Cairo and Ambles carrying hard. 5 kills and 4 kills, respectively. Very solid start from them. Alibi is going to be the 6th pick coming through for Mint Tippett.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Satellite having a field day over there in the top right corner of the screen. Love to see it. Here we go, setting up this next one.
The site they've chosen, I suppose they don't really have much choice about all the sites being locked out, but it's comparatively one of the weaker defender-sided maps, purely because it's sandwiched in the middle in second floor. Once you take top floor, you can, as with Pippo has, you can fuse down and just rain on everyone holding on site. You can clap down on both red stairs and white stairs in 2 opposite directions and close off all rotations from the defenders. In fact, if this is where VikingArmy takes it, this is where VikingArmy has a chance of taking the round.
Yeah, well, they'll need to do something, because as soon as this round's over, Phoenix is able to win it. Now they've just unlocked the top floor back, so that's going to be hard for VikingArmy if they're not able to find a round here, at least. As we see how they approach it. Definitely getting that top floor control first is going to be a massive help for them if they're able to do so.
The Capcan comes in handy with these traps. Mon's already at half health, if not lower.
Bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Yeah, Mon's just walking straight into that one. In the background, yep, she's going to go down. So will Soy. And, of course, Chrissy flying through the window. Cairo going on a rampage there on the roam upstairs. And now it's just the 2 players of Weird One and Mon's left alive. So, Enix, a very, very good start to this round.
Very strong. Mons and Weird One are actually in a really difficult position now. With the diffuser being dropped upstairs, it's quite hard to push from down to up.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. Not only that, they'll have to go past the floor where the bombs are.
As the saying goes, high ground is the winner.
Exactly. There's a reason that it was one of the most quotable lines from Star Wars, so...
Located by attackers.
Because it's true. It's harder to aim up and it's easier to aim down.
And just the perspective, sometimes you can see a lot more from a higher position.
Your legs start showing first instead of your head.
Exactly. There, she's going to shoot the alibi hologram there, and they're going to know exactly where she is. She's going to walk straight into... Thought she was as well. Yeah, she did. Walk straight into Bernabet. Weird One's going to find 1 kill. Mons will go down. Bernabet will get traded out there, but 45 seconds remaining. Weird One's got 3 more players to find for the ace 1v5.
There are 2 players holding offside, so this could be her chance to go for a sneaky defuse and hope that she gets away with it.
As soon as you say that, though, she will fall victim. Mint Tippett.
That was
line
a
of sight
cheeky
there.
alibi.
Really nice line of sight there. And yeah, putting the alibi there. Just in worst case scenario, if she didn't find that kill, you can more or less confirm that Weird One was going to shoot straight through that and then be tracked. So very solid hold there from Enix, and not looking great for Viking here to start things off, but this seems to be the way the cookie has crumbled for most of this season. The defensive side is just really too strong. So Mon's looking for a 6 pick off the Blackbeard onto Zafia maybe. There we go.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Round number now. Enix looking really strong, and here we go. Back upstairs.
Even with the Echo being banned out, there's still an ACOG on play with Cairo on book. Maybe she's going to go for that same cheeky angle behind the table.
Yeah, look, I'd assume she will. Makes sense, why wouldn't you? But also, Viking, surely they
drone
consider
it
it a
out.
threat and they drone it out. Yeah, but find some way to
10 seconds left.
try and counter that, because it's just been so strong for her. That first round, finding 3 or 4 kills straight through the little murder holes there.
That spot is actually so strong, but it's also incredibly easy countered because that floor below Cairo, where she is right now, is actually all soft. So with a well-placed impact charge from Mons, she could see right onto Cairo's entire body. And we see that little sneak hole being opened up again.
Not just that, I think it's important that to note that you're going onto a map, onto a set of bombs where you can't really attack too heavily from the top down or from the sides. You've got a bunch of windows, but they're not easy to get through.
Definitely not.
Would you not potentially look at putting someone on the back to shoot from below? Someone
Definitely.
with C4, something like that, just to change things up, just to be able to move the Enix players out of position and find some easy kills. I mean, is that not the approach here?
It's definitely the approach, but don't think that's what VikingArmy is aiming for. VikingArmy seems to be closing in from skylight, from the hatches. They seem to want to take the top-down approach. Oh no, they don't. They're going up the stairs like they did last push. They're clearing out all the roamers, and they spot the Jaeger.
Don't know
Weird
what to
one, not
expect
pushing
over.
up.
You're waiting for a teammate to go for the double peek, and it works out perfectly. Nicely done there to find the first kill.
And that's
open
white
up
stairs
white
control.
stairs. That's massive for them. They're going to find... Rather, Kyra's going to find one onto Pip, unsurprisingly. And just lying in wait as Amballs.
And they're
Gonna throw the
droning it
drone
out.
Looks like the Mozzie's gone down as well. It has Soy fighting Kill Mint Tippet, the woman advantage in Vikings' favour, and they're looking alright here.
Ample is managing to take down Mons, evening it out 3v3.
Explodes hasn't moved the entire round, just sitting in the corner waiting for someone to push a shotgun, and there we go. Finds kill on a Cressy, but Soy's going to trade out again. Kyra going down out of her power position. Here comes the nice peek there from Weird One, who's going to turn around and find another. But Soy finds the last kill there. So VikingArmy, against all odds, they're going to win their first round on essentially one of the hardest spawn starts.
This really opens them up to winning the rest of the rounds. Maybe they had a mental lapse and they needed to regroup and come back at it.
Having a look at the scoreboard, Cairo still sitting top dog. 8 kills, only 2 deaths. On the other side of things, 5 kills and 4 kills respectively for Weird One and Soy. Mons has found a couple as well, with Chrissy and Pip struggling to start things off here.
This time with the kitchen pick, they have a sledge. They have Soy on sledge, which is very nice because despite not being as good as a buck, a sledge can still do the exact same things a buck gadget can do and open up those soft walls and soft floors to see down.
Yeah, definitely.
In fact, they have a lot of soft breaching this time with the sledge, the Ash, the Zofia, and they also have that one hard breacher on ones.
Weird ones even come through with the all breaching charges as well, so they can really open up this site from all angles, and that could be a scary thought here for Enix, as that's going to put them out of position.
And Pippo with the breaching charges as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I don't see that entire floor disappear, that's not worth it.
They're gonna put Mozzie in the same position as last time. Pippa going back up to the museum. It's an interesting decision.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Because, again, just like with Cairo last round, you got to assume the VikingArmy are expecting that now.
Most definitely. They've done it once, then they might do it again.
I think this is one of my favorite things to watch about VikingArmy is you see them learning and adapting on the spot. Just need to avoid any potential early deaths, and they should be good.
Two of the Zophia's breaching impacts gone, opening doors to the site. Bernabe's in a very strong position. She has a Jaeger ADS defending her from any gadgets being thrown at her, and that's one being zapped away. Oh, she has two. She has two ADSs protecting her behind that.
Well, nice peek there to find the first kill onto Pippo Ping after Soy found a couple there.
That's that verticality coming in.
Yeah, she found the Mozzie, and then she's able to find the kill from the top down on Hard Explodes. Here comes that floor removal services. As with only 3 players left alive, and now all of the roofs above their heads being crippled, it's going to be a difficult position. Chrissy's going to find her first kill of the game finally. Bernabet, she's getting collapsed on a little bit here now. No real roam other than mid-tippet for Enix this time around, and that could harm them here. Kyra's going to find one. Bernabet a little bit weak. Oh, I like the idea there. It's not going to have the desired effect, though. Chrissy has gone down. She will get picked back up here. Meantime, Mons is going to find a kill onto Bernabet.
Just Kara on site.
Watch my back. 15 seconds remaining. Attackers have 10 seconds left.
Only 5 seconds remaining at this point. It's a 1v2, but they have to get that bomb down. Kara's in a very safe position. Oh,
okay.
She peeked.
Kara just peeks at the last second. Chrissy was about to pull out the diffuser as well, but there you have it. She's going to find the kill literally with milliseconds remaining. And VikingArmy, they're going to pick up their second round here. And this game looking a lot more even, and not just that, but it puts VikingArmy in a really good position going into the second half when they get on their defense on their map pick. I'm expecting them to be really strong, but we did have player dropout. Weird one. She did drop out, so I'm not too sure if we're going to go for a rehost or play 4v5.
6-pick Tachanka coming in.
I think we're going to go for the rehost by the looks.
Yeah.
With a 6-pick for Tachanka. Our Lord and Savior has come to bless us with a rehost.
From being defused by attackers. Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go to a quick break while we get this all sorted out for you guys. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the remaining rounds of Map 2 in just a moment.
No, because it needs to be a forfeit victory for them to end the current game, and then we need to restart.
Well, turns out we're not going to go to a break, but we are going to get this sorted out in the meantime. So we'll discuss a little bit of what we've been seeing so far. Cthulhu, again, you've been in the background just observing for us. I mean, it's really nice seeing these VA girls improve and adapt on the fly. It's nice to see them play like that.
Yeah, it's definitely been seeing. We've been seeing actually both sides to have quite an improvement, considering that the previous map was nearly a blowout on the side of Enix, as VikingArmy took it 7-1, I believe.
Yeah.
So I mean, overall, this is a much better beginning here for Enix, and well, VA managed to sort of form themselves a pretty decent beginning for a comeback as well, and potentially they might be on the verge of evening the score out for themselves as well.
Yeah, well, as we head into the remainder of the rounds, obviously we ended that one at 3-2, so the final round of the first half was about to get underway, and I mean, looking at now VikingArmy, they look quite strong on their offense, even with these 2 rounds. And I'm going to pose this question to you, Pi. Do you think there's much of a chance, with how strong they are starting to look, for Enix to keep this one alive and split the series?
I think Enix still, logistically speaking, they still very much have the advantage in this, being on the defender side and VikingArmy being on the attacking side. But I think, as you said, it's a 3-2, which means in how many more rounds does it swap?
Well, this is the last round of the half. So
this is the last round. So if they don't win this, then the future attacking rounds could be quite a challenge for them.
And I think it's fair to say that somehow, even though they haven't necessarily picked operators that you might think, or that I might think would be the most beneficial, like Bucks and stuff like that, they've still made it work in the last couple of rounds. Do you think that realistically that's a show of ego or show of dominance, or do you think that they're just maybe not thinking about which operators might necessarily be the best, or playing operators to their personal preference, operators that they are comfortable with?
I definitely don't think it's a show of ego. I think these girls are. I've talked to quite a bunch of them. I think they're all very nice personalities. I, however, might think that it might be because of Buck's gun. Buck's gun is extremely strong, the C8. But the biggest downfall to it is its recoil. Unless you learn the recoil, it is quite challenging to control it. And especially with an ACOG, it is very difficult to shoot in a straight line.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely could be a factor as to why they're cutting it back. And it's just starting to get the lobby loading back in now with all the players coming on. Cthulhu, your thoughts really on the lack of a Buck? Would that be something that you would be bringing into it if you did have a player that felt comfortable?
I mean, yeah, with Buck, thankfully with him, you also have his DMR, which is quite rarely used nowadays. But if the question of the recoil does come into play, the DMR is also a very good alternative, considering that DMRs in general have been seeing a bit of a rework and actually are able to open up a fair few surfaces in a few shots. So say the same hatches, if they're soft, can be opened up in, I believe, 3 to 4 shots, and stuff like that. Is just, it does definitely give some more purpose to the single fire rifles within Siege. So, I mean, Buck is definitely would have been a much better addition, considering that he also has frag grenades. So opening up having some quick openings and then tossing a grenade or having some quick shots is definitely an advantage here that I reckon VikingArmy should take. But apart from that, I'm thinking that maybe a bit more of a usage of Fuse on some verticality could be definitely adding some more advantage here for VikingArmy's play.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Pip on the Fuse that one round where she didn't take it would have been perfect because, again, that was our first round down in the kitchen. So this time around, though, in the kitchen, they didn't really bother too much with it, and they were really able to make it work nonetheless. Somehow, Chrissy finding the last-second kill there. So looks like we are just about to get this one underway. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the delays we've had today. We are experiencing a couple of issues, but for the most part, it's been all right. But here we go. We should get this one into it now. Of course, last round of the first half. Currently, the score stands at 3-2 to Enix's favour. But when we head over onto the second half, Trinity, they're going to be. Oh, sorry, not Trinity. Viking, they're going to be on the defense. That could be troublesome for Enix because they didn't have a strong offense last map.
Yeah, I mean, Enix overall had a pretty good beginning, but right now they need to get back onto their horse here. They need to get back into their momentum to get the ball rolling, because the initial first 3 rounds in a row were definitely very much impressive to witness.
Well, Pi, we're heading back up to the bar, and we saw Viking win their first round on this site. Do you think they can do it again, or is this potentially going to be a 4-2 half?
I think with this lineup, it really counts on Chrissy, Mons, and Soy to open up some space, as with the gadgets, Fuse and Nomad, they're not quite as aggressive, with Nomad's gadgets denying the flanks, and with Fuse denying site control if she fuses the windows. It's really up to Mons to open up the wars with Habana.
Let's see if that's what she indeed does.
Is it Chunka?
And they stuck with the Tachanka.
They stuck with the Tachanka. Oh my god. Oh my lord. They're putting 2 barricades.
I have
what? Okay, I mean, sure.
The better part is if they put 2 frost mats behind it to deny anyone from vaulting it over. Oh, that would be game changer.
I mean, we do have the frost there. And if it decides otherwise, this is unprecedented high-tier gameplay here, ladies and gentlemen. Cairo, instead of going for Doc or someone with an ACOG, no, she's decided to go with Tachanka, our Lord and Savior.
You don't need peak holes when you have a turret.
It's very true.
Can't get the heckin' Skype overlay out.
And balls. Going down there. A bit confused by that. And we're going to see most of the Viking players head towards that roof, if we're being included.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser. Bomb located by attackers.
Interested to see. I'm not too sure. I think it might have been a fuse charge. I'm not 100% certain on that dropped Amble so low, but done so either way.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that could have dropped her that hard with the fuse. The recent changes to how Fuse's gadget works, where now there's shrapnel damage as well.
Very slow start to this round. Mons is going to drop in.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
It looks like Chrissy might be next through the window. Soy's going to come down as well. Using that hole that Habana made in the reinforced wall.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
Everyone's going to find Bernabe though. That's massive.
Very nice roam clearing from her.
Soy onto Cairo and onto Ambles. And might get a
Soy.
third here. No, Heart explodes again with the mute shotgun. It's going to be able to trade that out. Mint Tippett's going to find another one onto a weird one there, but Mons
A bomb
close it up, leaving Heart explodes in a 1-on-3. And it's not going to happen. This is going to be a 3-3 split half here. VikingArmy.
Very strong on their attack.
Not showing, yeah.
Really changing it up from the first few rounds.
Well, gonna head into now Vikings. Defense this time around. Bandit going to be 6-picked by Mons there. Of course, we'll go to the bar. Let's see how they approach this one. In the meantime, we do have Heart Explodes on the Bucks, so
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
I haven't opted to go with the operator to sit behind the little desk like Enix did. Kind of a cheap play anyway, but
They're going a very gadget-heavy defender-sided team, and there's, again, similar to map 1, there's no IQ on Enix's side to counter that.
yeah, I mean, that seems to be an oversight that they've had the whole series long. And, you know, that could be the difference. Something, a small mistake like that could be the difference between playing in the finals and not.
Exactly.
To defuse a bomb.
And here we go. Action phase begins and Enix are on the prowl. See, Art explodes how she approaches things. She hasn't decided to go for the DMR, I don't believe. I think she's gone for the
CA.
assault rifle.
It's a suppressed CA as well, which means that when she clears from bottom to top, hopefully bucking from below their feet, they won't hear her shots.
Yeah, that could be a huge difference in this round. There's... Do you have Mons and Soy roaming? Mons over in the train museum, and they're just going to walk straight past her here. Anvil's on the finger again. She seems to love this. As they start to try and clear White Stairs.
Mons should be looking for an early flank on White Stairs. Doing that would delay a lot of time, but she's not there. She's close to Red Stairs, which is in fact the opposite. Soy is very close to White Stairs. She knows they're on White Stairs. Amble's just got a kill there.
Yeah, Amble's going to find a kill whilst using her first adrenaline surge. She's going to go for the second one as well now. She's going to help Kara stay alive there. Ambles will fall though, so no third adrenaline surge for her, and the player count now evened out at 4 players each. So this is now where Enix need to start
Attackers have dropped the
making their money, but Weird One's going to be able to find the kill onto Tippett. On the White Stairs there, and another one onto Hard Explodes with the C4. So all of a sudden, Enix down to just 2 players. This is going to be a very challenging attempt at taking one of the sites here. There we have it. Pip in the corner, the goo mine distracting her long enough, and she's going to stay there. That's the last 2 kills. Bernabe are going to go down for the end there. So Viking, a really good start here to the defensive half. it just felt like the buck didn't really get utilized in the way that we were all discussing earlier in the little break that we had. Some around, they're not even going to pick the buck.
Instead, going for the IQ, which is also a very needed pick.
I think it's important that they do because, as you said, not even just this map, but last map, Viking did utilize a lot of equipment-intensive operators on their defense. So IQ is going to be a massive player in countering that.
Even for catching out Soy on Vigil, who will most likely be roaming, an IQ with her scanner out can actually see when that Vigil stealths up because he's using a gadget to stealth himself. They could very easily catch him out on that.
Yeah, it's going to be something that Soy's going to have to worry about. She did 6-pick the Vigil, I think, so does it come in handy? Will it be to her detriment? That's going to be a question on my mind, at least. As we go back down in kitchen, and Enix, they've got their second attempt at attacking this one.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
It's very good drone usement from Enix's side with only one drone lost during the prep phase.
It's a good start for him, definitely. It looks like they're going to go for that top-down approach. They haven't decided to go for a fuse or anything like that, but a lot of soft breach potential here. Got Zephyr, you have Ash, you've got breach charges on both IQ and Havana. So maybe taking a leaf out of VikingArmy's book a little bit.
IQ is taking the interesting route to go straight onto the site that, to go straight on the level that the site is actually at, while the rest of the team is droning out upstairs. They know that there's.
Yeah,
Sorry. They know that Pippa's behind the bar or behind the bench in bakery. So just trying to flash her out.
They're going to bait out some shots for her. The peak work here, though, for Bernabet. She's going to get the adrenaline surge. Pip's aware of this by the looks of things because she's. Here's someone. Bernabet going to get Goomined.
They're quite passive with all their angle holding. Oh.
Couple of shots in, though. Pip's going to back off a little bit, and she's going to get shut down from behind. So there we go. A nice pinch from Enix, but it doesn't last for long as Heart Explodes will get traded out there by Soy. And that's that IQ gone, so no more with finding any of the utility. Now they just have to click heads. And at the moment, it seems like VikingArmy, they're just keeping up with Enix, keeping up the pace. Soy's going to be vital here. I think what this has really done more than anything is just slowed Enix right down to a snail's pace.
VikingArmy is taking very passive approaches, just holding very stable angles, cutting off any rotates or any pushes.
Should find an easy kill there. She does indeed. Mint Tippett's going to go down. She goes for the trade there. The thinker of Ambles, but it doesn't work out. Mons is going to be able to find that kill, leaving just Cairo. Limited time, and that's going to be the 8th round, going VikingArmy's way. Now standing at a very nice and comfortable 5-3 scoreline for them. Round 9 going to be up next, and Cairo complaining about being shot in the behind. As we go on now to round 9, is there anything that you've noticed that potentially we could see different from Enix here on their offensive side?
Wow, this is the first time that either one of them have brought in a thermite. The thermite was not banned this map, as opposed to Villa, where thermite was banned. Indeed, with Reading Room, a very common approach is they hold third floor to protect the ceilings of the site. So they will reinforce specific walls that a thermite can open and gain sightlines to cut off those flankers, to cut off the protectors of site.
Let's see what sort of use he gets this round. It'll be Bernabe, who really hasn't had the star performance that we've sort of grown accustomed to. He's had some really good games in the season so far, but just not so much this time around.
10 seconds to insertion. 5 seconds left. Attackers are
Viking
moving to defuse a bomb.
in a very confident position, I'd say.
Attackers
As
dropped the
we
bomb diffuser. Attackers have
I
recovered
see
the diffuser.
Enix, sorry, coming in for their attack. And it looks like we're going to see Chrissy B side anchor along with Pippo Ping. Pip's been very good with this Legion. I mean, we saw a lot of her in the first couple of weeks. First few matches, she was playing Pulse a lot. She didn't really know how to use him to the best of his ability, but I feel like Legion is a very welcoming operator. It's quite easy to understand how to use his ability, and he's got a pretty solid setup with guns, so...
It's nice to see that he's being used more, despite his recent nerfs, where the Legion can't actually see where he places his mines anymore.
Yeah, they have to be within line of sight, I believe, so...
And if you got good sound gear, you could hear that across floors, right?
Joy nearly getting tagged up by a lethal holy hand grenade there. Mons is going to find the kill onto Ambles, though. So... that's their hard breacher out of action, or the first hard breacher out of action. So we've got the thermite to deal with potentially.
And this is the really heavy top third floor hold that we see. Grenade missing and falling short. But she does fall back. She falls to the hatch and is no longer a priority.
I think it's fair to say that Soy, when she was nearly netted out there, she would have had to run away just because they would have heard her running. She was right next to her on the wall line. My lord. That's going to be Bernabe coming through with a quick kill, but she will get traded out straight away by Soy.
Very nice shot from Bernabe.
Mons as well, doing a lot of nice work on the roam. She's found 2 this round so far, so it's just 2 left for Enix. Make that one all up to Mint Tippett. And VikingArmy, they're about to go to match point.
No cams on Mint Tippett, so she's still safe holding where she is. They are expecting her at the end of the stairs, so she'd have to be careful about that one.
Problem is now trying to figure out how to find 4 kills and get that diffuser down. He's going to get spotted out though, and I like what we've seen VikingArmy players do there. Just back off. You don't really need to face it. You don't need to give her the opportunity to find 4 kills. She has to go for the diffuser plan anyway, and you're going to see the Valkyrie Mons come around through, find the kill anyway from the top of red stairs. So good, clear communication there, obviously from VikingArmy between the girls in their team comms right now. As we head into potentially the last round of the series, VikingArmy really putting up a solid fight. I mean, what do you think, really, Pi, that they can change here, Enix? What can they do to try and revitalize their attack? Because it's just not working what they're doing right now.
I actually think out of all of Enix's team composition so far, this is the most promising one. They have 2 hard breaches, they have a roam clearer from Jackal, and all of these operators have overall very strong guns, great movement speed, so they could stand a chance against one of the strongest defense points.
Yeah, well, we saw Viking win this one on their offense the second time around. Let's see if Enix can get it done the same second time lucky and prevent VikingArmy from taking an easy map here.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb. Ten seconds to insertion.
I think if Enix sticks to a very default playstyle, maybe open up all the hatches, open up that wall with a thermite into piano, they could then gain control of piano and just spread out their influence from that room. There's not much need to run clear from downstairs. There's no pulse to C4 them. At most, there's a vault camp, but with an IQ, they should be able to take that out as well. They have claymores as well. Claymores on the Zofia, claymores on the thermite to cut off, indeed, both stairs rotation or to double up rotations. So they have a very strong team comp if they use it appropriately.
I think that's one of the main things. That, you know, we see some decently strong team comps throughout the season, but sometimes just not being utilized to the best of their ability. Chrissy, she is a solid position to potentially find some kills, but you go, the drones are going to start to come on out. They're going to find one. That will be Chrissy.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
I mean, that window is not a fun one to try and defend against. Sometimes you get traded out from fair distance, or distance, I should say, sorry, away. But here we go. Chrissy and Soy now. They've found first 2 kills, and it's both of the hard breaches. That's massive.
There is no excuse for those kills apart from just poor droning. Those hard breaches should not be the first people meeting those bullets. Really, it should be the Zofia and the IQ pushing way for them. Oh, and the Zofia gets a kill on Chrissy. Very nice.
I mean, Tippett finally trading one out, but again, they're put in a really awkward situation, and it's going to be her going down. Hard Explodes last alive.
This diffuser still not in Hard Explodes.
Looks like it's been dropped on the top floor somewhere.
It's a very common approach once diffuser gets dropped, once the person carrying it gets killed, that they rotate all of their sight denying abilities and they rotate to that diffuser. The diffuser is now the new point to hold.
Well, the only positive about the IQ being the last alive is she might be able to spot out Soy. Well, she has been spotted out. She's been tagged up as well, and she's got one to face up against right in front of her. That's going to be a weird one. Mossy going down, but she's going to get collapsed around. And Sawyer's going to find the final kill there. We have it. VikingArmy going 2-0 up in the series and winning this one out convincingly. That's going to put them in a confirmed 4th place, and they will be going into that 4th, 3rd playoff next week. Fortunately there for Enix, they're going to be going home with the wooden spoon. I mean, they probably already are home. I can't imagine why they wouldn't be, but they are going to be ending the competition, unfortunately, dead last in the standings. So there we have it. First series done and dusted. VikingArmy, congratulations, of course, to you guys. Obviously, we'll see what NootNoot can do. The second series, tonight, as we watch them in their game. Of course, Pi, thank you very much for coming and joining us. Any final thoughts or closing statements after seeing that series?
I think VikingArmy is surely one of the teams with the largest improvement since week 1. They have quite a few members who are, in week 1 were very new, very beginners. And now it seems like they're a really tough competition to go up against. For whoever they're versing in the finals, I hope the best for them, because VikingArmy is surely a very tough opponent now.
Yeah, well, by all chances, I think it's likely that they're going to be facing up against NootNoot, but we'll have to wait and see the results of your series later on tonight. So I will let you go and get ready with your team. Yeah, just give you a quick moment to shout out your Twitter, whatever you want to do. Let people know where they can find you.
I don't really use social media. I literally just use Discord. But,
don't blame you for that.
Yeah.
All good, no worries then. Well, we'll let you head on off and get ready, prepared for your series, which is coming up in just a moment. Of course, thank you very much to Pi for joining us in the first series and commentating alongside myself while we had Cthulhu watching and observing in the background. And that series, man, I mean, Trinity, VikingArmy look a lot stronger than week 1.
Yeah, it's definitely quite an improvement for VikingArmy after their initial few a bit lackluster performances earlier into the season. They definitely managed to showcase us some really good siege tonight, and well, massive congratulations to them. They were able to get a pretty good hold of the momentum on the second map after losing out on 3 rounds in a row. They managed to kind of figure out the overall pace of how Enix played their games out, and well, that pretty much brought them that sweet 2-0.
Yeah, well, that's going to put them in the confirmed 3rd, 4th playoff that will be happening next week as well. We'll have to see what happens at the top end of the leaderboard in our next series. NootNoot and Trinity will be coming up just after this break.
Introducing Pulse. Pulse is a roamer and intel operator for a defending team. Playing Pulse well requires good map knowledge and situational awareness, as well as communication and reactivity. Pulse's ability as a roamer relies heavily on intel and mobility. Be careful not to barricade yourself into tight corners where you are restricted from moving around the map. Pulse's unique ability is his HB5 cardiac sensor. This sensor can track attackers through surfaces, gathering valuable intel on their positions. Pulse can communicate this intel to his teammates and help coordinate counterattacks. However, the sensor has a limited range at which it can pick up enemy heartbeats. Pulse's sensor can see behind breachable walls, non-breachable walls, and barricades. It can also see through floors and ceilings. Don't forget that you cannot use your weapon while you are using your sensor, or that there is a delay when you switch back. Do memorize attackers' behavior and common pathways to track and get the drop on them.
It was Titan versus Titan in the 4th week of the XPEsports Rainbow Six Siege Women's League as the Valiant Vertex went head-to-head with Trinity for an unforgettable series, with both teams claiming one map aside in a dominant fashion.
Here comes the Monty, but no, Buddha got other ideas and somehow survives that one.
And that is actually Minxie from below, actually, who did do quite some damage with those impact grenades, and she will be able to actually deny the bandit's position, but instead it will be Lola denying the head of Minxie. Oh my.
I mean, they seem to be committing to this. Chaotic still getting droned out here. They're just going for shots through the wall. There you go, Minxie. I think right now, no one else in this server really has the gun skill to match. Oh, look at that. Kotari, that's dirty. You can't do that. This is a pro league game. Playing this one by ear. Oh, that's going to do it. There we go. Trinity finally getting on the board. She goes for the wall bang.
Attackers activating the
Fuse is going to go down, but she's going to find the kill. There we go, Trinity.
defenders have located the
They keep their flawless half alive to start things off here. She needs to go for it. She runs across the screen. Oh my God, Yummy. That is dirty.
The 5-player army of NootNoot claimed what was rightfully theirs, striking Enix where it hurt for a glorious 2-game result.
Oh, Bernabeu with a shot through the wall, but Connie responded with 2, so it leaves Bernabeu 1 versus 3.
Albeit I'm not too sure if she actually does realize that the down did happen, but Enix, fantastic take.
Oh my God,
Has
Connie.
left the designated staging area.
Hello, Jordan.
The headshot
Nice
comes
shot.
through from Jordan. And she just about almost finds it, but she'll get dropped there.
Oh.
Oh, Chloe.
Oh my, talking about this being not it, Chief Coney goes in for an aggressive
Oh,
peek, gets
no.
a double.
That's huge. Not only did Mazakin find that information that the mirror was there, but the mirror saw the drone. So she should have been expecting the push coming out of Garrett, but she doesn't.
We would like to thank our sponsors, Legion Energy and Computer Alliance, as well as our partner Ubisoft, for supporting women in gaming.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rainbow Six Siege Women's League. We are getting into our second series of the night. Millwall's here, joined by Cthulhu. Pi has had to go back and actually play this game. She's one of the players on Trinity. She's going to be playing in this one up against NootNoot. And this is a huge matchup because this decides potentially if Trinity goes to the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, this would be the prime time for Trinity to take the control of the pace, take their pretty much initiative in their hands and see how they can make their way there. Because after their technically unfortunate performance against Vertex, you can't really say that it was a lackluster performance because they still managed to take away a map. But it wasn't ideal for them as they didn't really take both of the maps. Now this is their time to get that win. And especially against NootNoot, yes, that roster has been able to put itself in the middle of the leaderboard. But with the recent addition of one of the Vertex players to the roster due to some unfortunate circumstances in the world nowadays, NootNoot definitely received a bit of a boost there in their general performance. So I'm definitely quite keen to see, firstly, how will NootNoot play out and how will Trinity play out after their loss in their general map streak even. Because
Go ahead. I was going to say exactly. I think we both had the exact same thought up until last week. They were flawless with their map wins. So to lose that one in their series against Vertex obviously halted that a little bit, but they still were able to win a map in that series as well. So going up against NootNoot, I mean, it should be a bit of an easier challenge. I'm not too sure though, but as you say, there was an improvement last week from NootNoot. We saw the teamwork quite strong. So I'm excited to see them play. Speaking of, though, let's have a look at the NootNoot roster, if we can bring that one up and talk about some of the players. We've got Connie, we've got Bairechi, we've got Eppo, we've got Chloe, we've got Jordan and Mazakine, who is, as you said, the player that came over from Vertex. So very solid roster there. We always big talk Connie, and I think she proved last week that she is really one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, Connie has been seeing some really good overall performance. She's been the one to frag out and to be always there for her team. Chloe, seen quite some performance there for herself as well as Mazakine did manage to have a few highlights for herself. So I'm definitely keen to see how things will go for NootNoot in general, really.
Well, let's head over and have a look at the Trinity roster, who they're going to be going up against. It's going to be Minxie, Corvus, Aria, Pi, Cripst and Yummy Steaks, who I think Yummy Steaks has probably been one of my favorite players to watch. She's had some amazing rounds, some really nice clutches. So it'll be nice to watch her. So any thoughts on this roster? Because I think it's easily probably, I wouldn't say the best roster, but you can't take it away from the fact that it's top two, disregarding the scoreline. I've just seen some amazing things out of these players.
Yeah, look, they, like I mentioned before at the beginning of the broadcast, Trinity and Vertex, being the top two teams, had quite a stark contrast in skill between themselves and the rest of the teams. They were able to be always like one step ahead against each one of their opponents. And NootNoot, was being in the middle of the kind of the whole run of the whole pace, I still think that NootNoot will give them a really nice run for their reputation. And on the side of roster, well, Minxie has been seeing quite a few good performances. Pi, as well as Yummy Steaks, like you pointed out before. Definitely that trio does tend to shine quite brightly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when it comes to NootNoot, they've got the opportunity to at least, I mean, if they're able to, I highly doubt it, but they've got the opportunity to get a little bit closer to Trinity in the standings if they're able to win both maps and able to win it convincingly, but I don't really see that happening. So chances are we've got the VikingArmy and NootNoot third place playoff, and Trinity, though, this is their chance to get to the top of the rankings. But now let's have a look at the map bans. Let's see what they ended up with. So we're going to start things out on Kafe and end it on Coastline. So back-to-back Kafe, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, Kafe has been a very prominent choice for a fair few teams. It does allow some very nice plays, some very nice roams, as well as that, some just good general anchor holds from the defense. As well, on the side of offense, really, well, unless it's a bar and cocktail defense, you can go for pretty much as stock standard as it gets of a top-down clear, have some vertical play, as Kafe does allow plentiful of that on most of the sides. So, yeah, there's definitely quite some great variety of things that can be done here by both sides, and it's just one of those maps that is just, in general, it's quite fun to discover some of the more cheeky angles that we just were demonstrated as well by the defense of Enix at the previous series.
Yeah, exactly. I think Enix showed a few things there that I didn't even know about. So it's nice to see them sort of inventing new ways or using things that they've seen, other players do, whether it be pro players in like Pro League or something like that. But we do have map number 1 almost ready to go. So let's take another quick look at Kafe. Well, we are here for the final series of the regular season, Cthulhu. We're getting into it. Kafe between Trinity and NootNoot. Of course, we're going to get to the ban phase first. What are we expecting here? Do you think it'll be similar to what we saw in the last map?
Look, I mean, bottom line is, well, I was just about to say Thatcher will be the one to be banned out, as in his current meta, he is extremely powerful to deny some plentiful amount of defender gadgets within a single EMP grenade. So with him being seen out, I reckon the next one will be one of the hard breaches. It's probably going to be Hibana, maybe Thermite. Either or could be here, but instead it's just going to be Montagne. So the shield operator going to be going off. So no more of that kind of distraction plays that could be potentially coming out from NootNoot at the very beginning.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that, like, when I see Monty, for some reason I've just got it stuck in my mind that it's always the top floor of Kafe. It's always up there. So it might be good to get him out of action. Of course, we're going to see Echo banned out, the intel gathering operator, like we saw last map on Kafe, and we'll see what they go for this time. Do they do a similar tactic where they get another intel operator out of action, or is there some other? There we go, Mira. It's going to be, I think last series might have been the only series I've seen where Mira hasn't been banned, but she also hasn't been used. So there you go.
I think we saw one or two actually other matchups where we had Mira managing to slip through the ban phase, but I think only one or two teams were really able to utilize her to the full extent. So it is definitely quite a rarity seeing that Mira is slipping through the ban phase but never being picked, considering that she can change the tide in favor of the defense quite heavily.
Yeah, 100%. Especially on a map like this, you don't want to give the defense any more advantages than it's already got. So here we go, the first operator pick phase. We're going to see Castle six picked in by Arya.
I mean, looking at the overall lineup of the defenders, Goyo, Castle are pretty much the first two operators that stand out to me, just because with Goyo, with his somewhat recent introduction into the competitive scene, he's been seeing only now the increase in his pick rate as more teams started to get more and more kind of accustomed to the concept of having yet another operator that can deny some of the area. Plus, he comes with a really nice loadout. Being a 2-speed operator, he can either use the Vector, which is until Operation Ember Rise been used by Mira, or you have the TCSG, which technically at this point it's a semi-automatic sniper rifle, but it's a slug shotgun, and it has an ACOG. Yeah, well, I mean, the Vector is just a very overpowered, I'd say, SMG. It can cut you down in a matter of milliseconds, it feels like at times, so it's a gun that can go brrr, and
literally, you're dead. Before you even hear it, you're gone. There we go.
Now, Crip's position here could be very powerful, especially with the fact that there is also a Jaeger device right next to that Goyo shield. So before that Goyo shield will even be destroyed, 2 of the grenades will be eaten up. And that is quite huge, considering there's also the castle barricades to soak up the breaching utility. So that is already quite a whole lot of things that needs to be taken out, even before attack can even take a step. Actually, sorry, I said 1 Jaeger ADS. There's 3 all over the piano. That is nasty.
I just want to protect the piano, man. It was expensive. Paid a pretty penny for that Yamaha.
You might be right.
Looks like a baby grand. They can cost quite a few pennies. So, Jackal, though, going to be first operator out of action. That's Mazakine already off the board, and that's going to be huge. Not going to be able to stop those roamers.
Big mistake here is the fact that also NootNoot didn't even bother to bring in a second person with Jackal, not realizing that he may be taken out pretty quickly into the round. And if you lose your roam clear that early into the round without even any chance of refragging, well, you're going to be going into the next set of firefights with quite some disadvantage. And this is not what you want right now, especially with the fact that Arya just picked up yet another kill into Rachel, and that is your only hard breach as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Right now, we're seeing mistakes that we saw Enix make in the last series, where they're just not teaming up together. They're not walking around the map in pairs or in teams of 3 or whatever. They're just going around by themselves, peeking things one by one, and it's not working for them. Aria will get traded out, though, eventually there. It's going to be Chloe finding the kill. And...
Oh, wait. Does the C4 still in the hands of Minxie? If she does have the ability to go for a C4 from below, this could be huge. There it is, actually.
There we go, Minxie. She's going to make it work. Just IQ left on Jordan. But this has come down to a 1v2, which is a bit closer than what it looked like it should have been after those first 2 kills.
That is also true, yeah. This is most definitely very much clutchable for Jordan. She has some health, but she needs to be very wary about the firefights that she picks. And with barely any time left, she will be going for a bit of a careless peek, which does result in her demise from the hands of Minxie. But overall, Trinity has managed to make some really good hold. They've denied plentiful amount of utility and plentiful amount of time before NootNoot even bothered to make a step in the cigar shop, which it's quite huge when you think about it, because usually Kafe, it can be really dynamic if you have good pace, especially with operators like Thatcher or even Twitch, because with Twitch what you can do is, thank you Mazagine, with Twitch what you can do is you bust in into the piano room. Okay, not thank you, Mazakine. Bust into the piano at the minibar. Get the Twitch drone to get rid of if there's any breach denial. Have your Hibana or Thermite drop down straight away. Open up the wall into the piano. You already have the entrance into one of the biggest rooms for the foothold. And then from there, you can start going for the pressure. Say, even with a blitz or even Finka blitz. That is probably one of the more annoying combinations that people have to deal with in Siege. And you add, say, something like a Ying, and you position your Candela charge so well that the actual flashbangs from the Candela charge will get eaten up by the Jaeger. Now that is going to be some big brain power, which will deny even more of the Jaeger's ADSs. I'm sorry I went full nerd there, by the way.
Yeah, full nerd. Most of that just went over my head, but it sounded important. So I'm like, someone will understand it. Someone will get it. But no, I did pick up that.
You know that meme where it's Christian Bale and Kermit just nodding at each other like, yep, cool, take a note, yep, cool.
Not just that, I wasn't even watching the footage because I accidentally alt-tabbed, so game footage, what I was watching was the Twitch stream, so I was like 3 minutes behind. Because I have the Twitch stream up and then I got my footage over it, so I didn't realize that it wasn't the live footage.
Oh, Millwall.
I'm a mess. I've only been up for 5 hours. This is not good. But here we go, though. Action phase underway. 2 minutes 20 remaining. And I think one of the biggest takeaways from a little rant there would be, that delay that Trinity made it so that NootNoot just had no chance of getting in quickly enough. And it led down to a last-minute push, as you said. That was an easy kill for Minxie in the end of the first round, so... Speaking of, Mazakine going down again, the first blood, again to Minxie. Not a great start from her.
This is the same mistake that is being made here by NootNoot. They trying to go for a roam clear, but it's a solo roam clear. Finally, it does pay off, but only after the fact that already Rachel was the second person that is lost. And once again, it is the Thermite. Actually pointed out very well by Pi in the previous matchup as well, because you should not have your hard breach to be the one that goes down, because with the fact that you only limited to 2 breaches through the reinforced walls, which could most definitely go onto that freezer wall, apart from that, really, there's nothing that can be done now. They have to utilize those impact holes or the entries that Trinity generated, and by all means, those were generated with the intent to be a choke point.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's just, I don't know if it's lazy or they're just not thinking about it, but it's the case in pretty much any game I can think of. You want to make sure that you're pairing up at least, like have a buddy system or something so that you can go for that trade kill. And it's just not happening. Finally, they're going to start to trade some kills out. That's going to be Pi and Minxie going down. But nevertheless, as you say, you've got your hard breacher out of action so early on that it's put you in this really tough spot that you're not going to be able to get through any of the walls, that have been reinforced. And as you said again, all those little holes, like rotation holes, they're all choke points designed to funnel all the players here.
Well, this is a free real estate right now for Arya to take. There's the crossfire as well going at the worst possible moment for the one of the attackers to un-ADS, and now all up to Jordan, who actually is on site now, but she needs to take care of that diffuser. There's the bit of a potato firefight between the two German operators, which will be resulting in Trinity claiming yet another win here, but that is just flat out stompage, but this is also stompage at a very good timing as well, because, well, the good timing for Trinity, it's incredibly unfortunate timing for NootNoot though, considering that, like we just saw, they held the flank watch, and if there was just another extra second that, I believe it was Chloe who held that angle, if she would have held it a little bit longer, then she would have found that kill into Arya, and that now could have turned the round into their favor, albeit that the time was not though.
Yeah, I mean, there's been opportunities for them to turn the rounds in their favor. They've been both very close rounds that have come down to 1v2, so it's not unwinnable here for NootNoot. But
oh yeah,
just a couple of early mistakes is just really letting them down. They've decided to go for 2 hard breaches this time. Connie jumping over to the Habana. Now Chloe picking up Zafia. So I really want to see that Zafia and Jordan on the IQ be the 2 players that run on through as that entry fragging, if you will, position. I know it's not, it's dissimilar to some other games where you don't really have that dedicated entry fragger on Siege because it's a very different play style to a lot of other games, but it's still, you need to, be conscious about who you're sending out into these gunfights. Zafia, she is an offensive character in the sense that her ability, concussion grenades and the impact frags that come out, that's what she's meant to do. She's meant to make openings for her team. Why the hell are you sending out your sledge first? Why are you sending out your thermite first? It just doesn't really make a lot of sense, but at least they've got the backup here. The Habanas are their backup plan.
Yeah, I'm definitely I'm with you on this one. Having maybe, say, a trio of roam clear, Jordan, Mazikeen, and Chloe. So you would have Mazikeen and Chloe pretty much be the openers, and then Jordan is the one that will be confirming essentially the utilities position, while you have Rachel and Coney doing quite some good job with opening. Because with Rachel going down, it is pretty much up to Coney to do a whole bunch of hard breaching, and while this is a good change that NootNoot is attempting to do, it should not be that forced after the 2 rounds that we just saw.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice, but see if it pays off.
Wario playing with fire here, as she is actually on a lone roam and does get spotted by the drone. So right now, she will need to depend on her very aim, but there is also Crips right below that window, ready for a run out, I believe. But no, she's just going to take it easy.
Nothing easy about that, though. Hurry up. She's going to find the first kill onto Rachel. Again, it's the thermite, the first blood.
Ouch.
It's baffling how they're making these kills happen what seems so easily. And that's going to be the IQ potentially going down. The shot's just not lining up for her. Now they're chasing. They're in the offensive mode now. And Arya, she has to gap it. She needs to get out of there.
I mean, if you look at it from Arya's point of view, she managed to already find the kill, firstly on one of the hard breaches, that's one, and then deal some heavy damage to Jordan. So whenever there's going to be the next firefight, that's going to be it for her. But, oh, Mazikeen, some really nice catch out on that rotation, but we'll get pretty much instantly traded out. So trades so far going in favor of Trinity, but they still have a chance with 41 seconds left to go.
Yeah, I think it's, it's definitely easier when you're on the defensive side to team up a little bit and have someone in a good trading position, but it just goes to show how effective it can be. As long as you stay on top of your trades, you're fine. But that being said, Chloe, she's going to find a kill. On to one more player, that was Crips. These holes in the wall are going to be everything for Minxie, but she gets deleted off the server. It's just Yummy Steaks now. Got it all to do. Chloe's going to be able to get down the diffuser, and this has worked perfectly for NootNoot. It looks like they might be able to get the round on the board. That being said, they are all a little bit weak, so it's not going to take a lot of damage here for Yummy Steaks to do it.
So many crossfires being held here. Jordan has a really good angle, but does manage to actually find the kill onto Yummy Steaks, as she will be finished off. And finally, NootNoot do manage to get a grasp for themselves, as they do finally find themselves their first point here.
Yeah, they're going to find the first round on the offensive side. I mean, it definitely is going to be difficult on Kafe, but here we go. Next round coming on up.
Now, we are going to go onto Bar, which so far previously has been won over by Trinity. They have seen it into I believe it was a 1v2 thing, 1v2 to 1v1, I think, but it was definitely still very much in their favor, and bringing in a Goyo was one of the key components there, considering that Goyo first of all set up those shields, ADSs, then in front of those shields, and then, well, from there, it's pretty much a impenetrable fortress, while the actual I believe Mexican operator himself did end up going on the roam at the second floor, where Minxie did manage to find some nice few kills. So overall, if Trinity can repeat the overall success, that's not what you wanted here. If they can repeat the success, then, well, it's definitely going to be better. But a bit of a premature explosion here on the side of one of the Goyo shields is not going to be making things any better here, considering that, well, that's one shield down, and that is actually going to be a shield missing from the piano, which, well, actually no, it will be brought over. Okay, so I'm not too sure then where will that shield be missing out, but nonetheless, the rest of the operators and still the rest of the setup is still being just about the same.
Yeah, more or less the exact same. Unsurprising. It looks like Minxie wants to go for a little bit of a soft lurk over to White Stairs. Of course, this series, really, it's all up to Trinity. The rest of everyone below Trinity right now, they're locked in their standings on the leaderboard. Even with a clean 7-0, 7-0 victory in these games tonight, NootNoot wouldn't have been able to take them over because they are behind in round differential by a significant sort of margin. Positive 29 for Trinity and only positive 6 for NootNoot. So,
yeah, it's definitely still a very tough round, and NootNoot would have needed an absolute miracle to just steamroll Trinity if they wanted to overtake them.
yeah.
But I mean, for now, it's nonetheless, it's one of those kind of games where NootNoot could very much solidify the position for Vertex instead. So, say either one of the teams are good friends with each other, then, well, maybe it could have been the big deal here. Let's take a look at the rest of the Trinity roster for now. It seems that actually all 5 are around the site. Actually, no roam whatsoever, and a good beginning on by Arya, as she does manage to find the kill, but double trade actually to come out on the side of NootNoot.
Yeah, keeping things close here, but only Chloe and Connie left alive. Sophia and Kafe out. They are playing together by the looks of things, but got a tough task ahead of them. Chloe, some really nice shots there onto Crips.
Yeah,
now just
leaving
Pi and Minxie.
Yeah, just leaving it to Pi and Minxie, and both of them are in pretty powerful positions all in all. Minxie is able to rotate in and out from the freezer into the white corridor, whilst Pi is a little bit more locked onto her position, but her position can be very much used to the full advantage, as her evil eyes are still there. They're still very much able to be used, and Chloe still tries to find some closure, as C4 came out, so right now this will be the perfect time to go in for the plant. Chloe taking so much damage there from all the crossfires. Time is running low. They need to go in for the plant. They need to stick it as quickly as possible because the frags are not coming anytime soon. And this is now out of desperation. Needs to come out. Minxie actually will be going down and all up to Pi as Pi takes so much damage. And the plant is actually down. Chloe, though, is down as well, and now all up to Coney to try to clutch this out. Both players can go down to a single bit of damage, and well, the pre-fire will be coming out from the Alder, will be downing Coney, and well, Pi does manage to finally clutch this out, but also close to losing this out for NootNoot.
Yeah, Connie was so close to finding that kill onto Pi. Whilst the bomb was going, or rather, well, the diffuser was getting planted there, so that could have been a completely different story. Connie, unfortunately, just not lucking out with her shots in the end. So, going to be Pi clutching up around number 4, giving Trinity a nice and healthy 3-1 lead, but still 2 more rounds left in this first half. Let's see how this one goes down. Right now, Chloe popping off 10 kills to an end.
Yeah, Chloe already pushing herself to perform for her team, considering that the rest of the roster is not having particularly a fun time, but she was the reason why a fair few rounds were nearly going into the favor of NootNoot, but unfortunately it was not meant to be, at least just yet for them.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs.
Oh, here we go. Getting the setup phase underway, and what we've got Castle coming back, got Mute, Legion as well for Minxie.
What I do like seeing from Trinity right now is the fact that they are able to interchange their operators between all of their players, because previous round we saw Pi take control of the Maestro, and I believe it was Arya who was playing on Castle. Now it's Pi on Castle, Arya on Jaeger, and Crips is the one taking control of the Maestro. So that interchangeability within the player roster for Trinity is certainly a very good sign, considering that for NootNoot so far they've been sticking to just about the similar roster overall, as Rachel already took some heavy damage from the spawn peak.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that that's probably one of the most important things with Trinity's success is, yeah, as you say, being able to actually be comfortable on a whole varying range of different operators, so that depending on what position you want to play, what bomb sites you've decided to defend, it's going to change the pace of things. So, and also keep your opposition guessing. That's also a massive part of how this game works, is not being predictable. And right now, NootNoot, they're about as predictable as Christmas coming for Trinity at the moment.
Sure is. All of the roamers of Trinity right now finding some real nice frags, but Coney does manage to finally find that shot onto Arya to shut her down, but there's still one person disadvantage here in favor of Trinity, as the diffuser is down in a very misfortunate position, just like that as well. Rachel is gonna go down to the hands of Pi, and well, for Jordan and Coney, this is quite a task to be done here, as Minxie actually does manage to go down, and the diffuser has been reclaimed.
Yeah, they do find it. They've spotted out one more player, though. I think that's the Castle, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely could be mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but 2 versus 3, it's doable for sure. Going for the wallbang there. Decent amount of damage, considering, but not enough to really do much to Pi.
Yeah, and considering the fact that Coney is also very low in health, the next firefight could be very much lethal for her. For that very reason, Jordan is the one that's going to be trying to spearhead the push, as right now they're getting pinged, first of all. Second of all, the remainder of the Trinity roster is still pretty healthy right now, and even a single mistake could be very crucial and deadly. Jordan does find a very nice headshot, another tag up on your mistakes, but there's Crips with a double kill, very nicely done, as Trinity find yet another win for themselves. My goodness, they're on fire.
Yeah, again with the last second rush to get that defuse down. Harming NootNoot there, and this is one of the problems that they had last week was, or rather, this was one of the problems that Enix had last week that we saw when they were just running out of time against NootNoot. Now NootNoot, they're doing the same thing here against Trinity, and it's not fun to watch. As, again, a very similar operator setup here for Trinity. Actually, for both teams.
Well,
The one thing that they've improved on, though, NootNoot, is that round, it wasn't their thermite that died first.
yeah, that is a very good point. Yeah, it was definitely a improvement to a certain degree, but their overall approach, the way how they ended up losing out on those first few frags without getting any initial refrag, definitely did hurt the roster quite substantially. As Arya and Minxie were gifted pretty much free kills at that point. So for now, NootNoot needs to step up. I mean, so far looking at the overall performance, Chloe has been the one stepping up, but the moment she died last round, it was pretty much all over Red Rover for NootNoot, as Coney did make some very valiant efforts managing to get herself a double kill, but apart from that, really, there wasn't a whole lot to be made.
Yeah, I think that seems to be a thing that we're seeing consistently from Connie throughout the season, is she'll have these rounds where the team's struggling, she does get a couple of kills, and it makes it look like, okay, this is possible, but the rest of the team just isn't able to support her in that. And obviously, this is a team game. Connie can't do it all by herself. So, made it hard on her. But last round of the first half here, Trinity looking very strong, but of course they will be going over to the offensive side. And this is NootNoot's map pick, so we'll see what Trinity has to offer on the defense and what NootNoot
Look
has
at
to
this.
offer on the offense.
It's a full-on push on the red stairs as well, whilst having some pressure on the windows. And right now, this could actually work out really well. Mazikeen, unfortunately for her, will be going down once again to the hands of Crips, as she does try to take control of the top floor, while the remainder of the roster is actually right now trying to engage onto the second floor. Rachel goes down. No more of the hard breach once again. No more openings, as right now it is all up to Chloe and Coney to try to get some closures here for themselves.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to these two girls and Jordan clearing the path of any kinds of utility, but she's going to get dropped there by Ari as well. Some really nice shots leaves Connie last alive. She does have health. She tries to run out. She'll find the first kill, but there's another one on the stairs there. Drops the second. Now with only about 5 health remaining, this is going to be nigh on impossible for Connie.
Yeah, Coney barely on a slither of health. We'll need to try to clutch this out, as she did manage to down Arya, but never really was able to solidify on that push. As well as that, now that her intentions were revealed, she will need to be very careful about where she goes in for the push, because Minxie is very much aware and will be going in for a nice shot to the head of Coney to solidify a 5-1 scoreline in favor of Trinity.
Very solid half here for them. But now NootNoot swapping over the defensive side of things. I'm looking forward to this because, you know, we spoke about Trinity's good use of delaying tactics in the early game, in the first round, I think it was even. That's what we saw NootNoot do pretty well against Enix last week, was delaying them, slowing them down, not allowing them onto site. So let's see if they approach this in a similar fashion. And the lineups here have more or less just swapped. You've got your Mozzie Castle Legion Bandit, that's the same. You've got Thermite Capital Zephyr and IQ, that's the same. So very similar.
Only difference is the fact that this one, on the side of NootNoot's defense, we will be seeing Jordan actually bring in a dock, so some long-range capabilities to come out, plus maybe, and that's still a very big maybe, the dock will be able to heal up the teammates. So yeah, there is some utility for a continuous set of firefights, but I'm not particularly hopeful here right now for the way how NootNoot performed so far.
Seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, team composition is one thing, but
5 seconds left.
if you're not able to stay alive in the first place, it doesn't really matter all that much.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
Looks like Connie on the Mozzie is going to be going for some rotation holes over near the reading room, and we're setting up for the offense here, which has now started. Trinity getting things underway, and they've decided to bring out a Jackal this time. Could be very influential in spotting any lurkers, any roamers if there are any, but so far I'm not sure, apart from Connie, who has been walking around the map. I think it might just be her at the moment.
It is actually her, in fact, and with Arya's initial shot onto what I believe is RIP main man Castle, who's played by Chloe, things are not going to be starting to look really good here for NootNoot, considering that that early frag is very potent here. Oh, with all the shots starting to be traded out, I'm missing out on all of those frags as well, unfortunately. But Cribs does manage to pick up the shot onto Mazikeen as well. That is the newly introduced player into the roster of NootNoot, and well, right now, unfortunately for her, she cannot seem to find her groove in here.
Yeah, struggling a little bit today. She had an okay series last week, but so far, not the best. And Arya, 3 kills already this round.
The next contender here will be Rachel, and Coney actually does manage to find the shot on the crossfire, as Rachel does end up getting downed, and well, Yummy Steaks will be able to... No, actually, won't be even... yeah, there we go, finishing her off. There we go. 1v4, so now all up to Coney. She was in a fair few of the clutches here, does manage to find the shot onto IQ, but meanwhile the diffuser is being planted, and that is not the situation you want to find yourself in, where the time is playing against you, especially on defense.
Let's see how she approaches this. Drone in hand. Just find some quick kills here, but it's not going to happen. Trinity, they're going to close this one out. Delivering the goods.
Yeah, pie definitely delivered. Roasted, toasted, packaged, and posted for Trinity's win in that round, which does put them at a match point, Milboss. Any kind of impressions so far as to what's been happening? As to, do you reckon this is NootNoot's just kind of maybe lack of preparation, or do you reckon is it just sheer skill gap that is between the two teams?
I think it's only reasonable to say at this point skill gap, because Trinity have just been dominating the entire competition except for one map against Vertex. So right now, as it stands, they're looking at a very, very solid position to take that first place in the leaderboard by the end of tonight. I mean, the reality is it's not really going to change anything because they're just going to be playing Vertex anyway, but still, it's nice bragging rights to have.
Yeah, that is a pretty good point. Yeah, having that very dominating performance ever since their very beginning in the season certainly does show that they are a very, very scary team to play against. And for NootNoot, this is quite a challenging run to even run away with maybe a few rounds here and there, considering that, well, they need those for the end results, as things might change around here, I believe, if the points and the round differential will be not anymore in favor of NootNoot.
Yeah, well, reality is that at this point, if you are Trinity, you want to be able to show off being top dog. And, the one map that they did lose against Vertex, they then went and beat them 7-1 on the other map. So it's like, in reality, it doesn't really matter that much. They've had an absolutely incredible season.
Yeah, but I mean, rather for NootNoot, their round differential needs to be staying in place, because I believe when you did mention it to being +4, +6?
It's +6 right now.
Yeah, well,
I don't believe they can drop a position, but they definitely can't go up a position. So
Yeah, okay, well, then fair enough. But nonetheless, it's still an unwanted loss here in case should NootNoot lose out on the firefight. But while we were theory crafting about the points, Mazikeen nearly actually was able to take out the head of Arya, who was about to drop down the red stairs, but unfortunately for Mazikeen, missed out.
yeah, Mazikeen, she's changed things up as well, going for a camp can this time around.
Being live droned as well, that is quite something as well, considering that right now for NootNoot, they being very careful about how they play and how they roam, because there is Coney, yes, there is Capcan, but it doesn't matter for Arya. She's just a straight gunner.
Oh
She will
my
just gun
Lord.
down those roamers and just no remorse, no prisoners. That's it. Straight win. That's all that Trinity wants here.
I don't even know what to call this right now. Trinity, they're just sending Arya in and saying, go, have fun, play with your toys.
That's pretty much it, actually, yeah.
They're just getting ripped apart. She's 13-5. An absolutely classic performance here from Arya. Interesting choice, though, when you're defending the kitchen bomb sites to have a pulse. And it's a choice. I mean, I guess, yes, you can stop that aggression from above if they try and break through the soft floors. You can just chuck C4 up there. I do get that, but
Uh-oh.
now she's anchoring on side as well. Rachel's down and almost out on the bandit. 2 versus 5, sorry. Not looking good here for NootNoot.
Yes, Rachel did bled out here. Right now it's being a 2v5. Jordan is trying to contest with the IQ, I believe, right at the prep room, and will be having a little bit of a chance to shoot at the gridlock, but will get punished straight away. All up to Chloe, who will be going down as well, and that is a flawless round for a 7-1 scoreline. Wow.
Yes, solid first map here of Trinity, and on their map pick nonetheless. That's what you'd want.
Yeah,
And we will be heading to a map 2, and I can't really see NootNoot winning it. I don't know. Maybe they've got something lined up for Coastline that I'm not prepared for, but hopefully for their sake they do.
Well, look, the bottom line is Coastline is much more linear of a map, where we do see quite a lot of fragging to be done. And while NootNoot did showcase that Chloe is the one that can very much frag here for the team, the remaining of the roster was only just barely able to scrape some of the frags. So maybe here, where it requires slightly less of the coordination, we will be seeing some more fragging and some more contention here from NootNoot.
Yeah, hopefully they're able to sort of build up the rest of their teammates. They struggled a bit there. Mazikeen not having the greatest game. Rachel, I don't even know if she got a kill there in map number 1, but hopefully for map number 2, they're able to make something work a little bit easier. So we're going to go to a very short break. Once we're back, Coastline is up next.
Introducing Bandit. Bandit is a secure, anti-hard breacher and roamer, capable of denying key entry points for the attackers and defending the objective while on the move. Playing Bandit well requires a good knowledge of attackers' entry points and behavior. As a secure and anti-hard breacher, Bandit is a core part of the defending team, denying hard breaching operators and forcing them to take a new route to the objective. Bandit is capable of electrifying a variety of surfaces thanks to his special ability, the Crude Electrical Device, or CED-1 Shockwire. Shockwire can electrify various reinforced surfaces as well as defensive gadgets, making it a useful multi-utility tool. Their effect will differ depending on where you choose to deploy them. Shockwired surfaces will cause damage to attackers and destroy drones if they come into contact, hindering their movement and in some instances, resulting in a kill. Remember, your shockwire can be destroyed easily by gunfire, explosions, and various attackers' abilities, so deploy them strategically away from key lines of sight. Apply your shockwire to reinforced walls around the objective to counter hard breachers and improve your chances of slowing down the assault. Don't. Place your shock wire where it could destroy other defenders' gadgets and devices. Be wary of where you place them as they will damage all friendly gadgets. Do redeploy your shock wire based on where the attackers are focusing their assault. Listen carefully and communicate with your team to ensure the best deployment.
It was Titan versus Titan in the fourth week of the XP Esports Rainbow Six Siege Women's League as the Valiant Vertex went head-to-head with Trinity for an unforgettable series, with both teams claiming one map aside in a dominant fashion.
Here comes the Monty, but no, Buddha got other ideas and somehow survives that one.
And that is actually Minxie from below, actually, who did do quite some damage with those impact grenades, and she will be able to actually deny the bandit's position, but instead it will be Lola denying the head of Minxie. Oh my.
I mean, they seem to be committing to this. Chaotic still getting droned out here. They're just going for a shot through the wall. There you go, Minxie. I think right now, no one else in this server really has the gun skill to match. Oh, look at that. Kotari, that's dirty. You can't do that. This is a pro league game. Playing this one by ear. Oh, that's going to do it. There we go. Trinity finally getting on the board. She goes for the wall bang.
Attackers activating the
Fuse is going to go down, but she's going to find the kill. There we go, Trinity.
Defenders have located the
They hit their flawless half alive to start things off here. She needs to go for it. She runs across the screen. Oh my God, Yummy. That is dirty.
The 5-player army of NootNoot claimed what was rightfully theirs, striking Enix where it hurt for a glorious 2-game result.
Oh, Bear with a shot through the wall, but Connie responds with 2, so it leaves Bear 1 versus 3.
Albeit I'm not too sure if she actually does realize that the down did happen, but Enix, fantastic take.
Oh my God, Connie.
left the designated staging area.
Oh, hello, Jordan.
The headshot
Nice
comes
shot.
through from Jordan. And she just about almost finds it, but she'll get dropped there.
Oh.
Oh, Connie.
Oh my, talking about this being not it, Chief Coney goes in for an aggressive peek, gets a double.
That's huge. Not only did Mazakin find that information that the mirror was there, but the mirror saw the drone. So she should have been expecting the push coming out of Garrett, but she doesn't.
We would like to thank our sponsors, Legion Energy and Computer Alliance, as well as our partner Ubisoft, for supporting women in gaming.
Well, map number 1 in the books and map number 2 about to get underway. Cthulhu, we just saw Trinity have a pretty dominant win in Kafe on their map pick against NootNoot. Do you reckon we're going to see that come through again this time around?
Well, with NootNoot, they're going to be having to care slightly less about the overall coordination on a slightly smaller map now. So I definitely think that they have a bit more chances to really take the big dub here. But yeah, apart from that, really, Trinity has been through and through in control of the pace throughout the first map.
Well, map number 2, we're going to be heading over to Coastline now. So let's take a quick little preview of what this map's all about. Well, here we go. NootNoot. This is their last chance to get a win on the board. Trinity, this is their last chance to go to the top of the leaderboard. As it stands, they're just one win away from topping Vertex. So let's see how we go about it. What are we expecting here for the ban phase?
Honestly, I'd be expecting a Jackal to be banned out, but Monty being the first one to be gone by NootNoot, they just don't want to verse that operator in general. As Crips just gets even more upset about that choice. Up next, it's either Thatcher or Jackal, but hey, instead it's going to be just Hibana, lol.
Righto, there you go, no Jackal banned out. That's going to mean the roaming game's going to be a little bit more challenging. Although, to be fair, I haven't really seen much of Jackal being utilized properly, if I'm being honest. Miragon, no surprises there, but yeah, Jackal's been one of those anomalies where you've seen some good use out of him, but for the most part, it hasn't really been that great.
Yeah, I mean, Jackal, whilst having some good potential, teams were not at least able to get to use it a whole lot. I mean, apart from Trinity and Vertex, we saw some good overall performances, but apart from that, Jackal was outed pretty quickly throughout other matchups.
Let's see if it's an effective choice here not to ban out Jackal.
Let's see, indeed. Hookah Lounge and Billiards will be the first choice of the defense by NootNoot, and I am very much curious about that pick of Nook, because surely that will be a bit of a 6 pick, or rather, Crips might be just fooling around with some of the plays and some of the brain activity games. As yep, there it is. There's the 6 pick going out. I'm just crush all my dreams and hopes for seeing a spicy play. Instead, Crips will be sticking to a bit more of a stock standard decision of bringing in a Jackal, and that is actually the operator that we did talk about just before, saying that, well, we didn't really see a whole lot of great performance from him. So maybe this will be the site where we will be seeing Crips just utilize Jackal to his fullest potential here.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be important that they do that, because you do have some very good lurking capabilities on NootNoot's side. And you've got Bandit, Jaeger, and more ready to go there. So that's going to be a big one for him. Can they find some early kills onto the roamers?
Here's actually a food for your thought here, Milboss.
Yeah.
Echo is not banned.
True.
And with that comes yet another ability to use yet another very useful operator with an ACOG as well, nonetheless. As well as that, his drones are incredible at denying the last-second plan. So for teams like Trinity, this could be a very powerful operator to play off. Whereas for NootNoot, well, for them, this could just be utilized as yet another info-gathering operator, as his drones can pretty much be used as the normal drones.
This is very true. And not just that, but you've got to have a player comfortable enough to use someone like Echo, it's not an easy operator to get good at. So,
oh yeah, you need some good micromanagement of your position and of your drones. Yeah, I'll definitely agree with you on that.
I think it's definitely something that if it's going to happen, I am more looking to Trinity to bring that out if it's going to happen. But here we go. Crips analysing the first bit of footprints, I should say, sorry. And it's going to be the roam downstairs from Mazikeen, who, again, had a strugglesome first map.
Uh-oh.
Hasn't started out any better.
Yeah, Mazikeen was one of the first few people that were outed initially on Kafe as well, so this is not a good beginning here, considering that Coney just went down as well to the hands of Arya, and like you said before, it seems like Trinity just says, hey, Arya, go play with your toys, and, well, out she goes. Rachel, surprisingly here, be staying alive for a little bit, but has her back turned away towards the VIP, and well, the peak by Arya will be solidifying that win, and now it is all up to Chloe to try to get the big win here, as she is being outed from each and every avenue for her to go in for the push, as Minxie will have a successful plant, and while Panta's down, there is still some fight in Chloe, as she was the top fragger for her team in the previous matchup, but with the peak by Yummy Steaks will be actually going down. Arya as well going down, so it is a 1v3 situation with 25 seconds left to go. Things are looking a bit more clutchable here.
After all that, Chloe's going to go down.
Yeah, so unfortunate their outcome for NootNoot, as the Orange team, aka Trinity, did manage to find the next round, as I believe that is 6th round in a row, technically, including the previous map, that they've taken so far off NootNoot, and, well, yeah, Trinity just seemed to be completely unstoppable with the fact that Arya being the main aggressor here, the main entry fragger, and she's doing some absolute fantastic work there for her team.
Yeah, she is dominating right now. And got to make the rest of the team feel confident when you've got a player like that absolutely going off. Everyone else is going to be feeling good about their chances as well. So, only thing you got to be careful of is you don't get too overconfident if you are Arya right now and go for silly peaks that get you killed. So far she's been pretty good with that. But
yeah, that is a very good point that you make here, Milboss. Yeah, the factor of being confident about certain pushes and being overly confident almost to the point of cockiness can very much result in Arya's early demise, which I'm pretty sure at this point NootNoot will be very much wary that, hey, action phase starts, probably give yourself another 5 seconds, and after that just wait for the wild dog that is Arya just about to come in and try to fetch your soul.
I think that's probably a fair description of her right now, the Grim Reaper in the server. How do they go about this one? Arya, she's just going to be going up onto the balcony. Going to get some early aggression towards top floor, and already Crips has tracked someone.
There it is. 30 seconds in, and Arya already finds a pre-fire with the help of Jackal, and there's the Jackal usage that we were talking about before. Finally finding those pings and getting some information. Oh, come on. No, Arya, no.
Don't do it, Arya.
You cannot finesse on them like that. Please, leave it. Please, Arya, not the children. Think about the children. Because it is instead Minxie that does find the kill, and Chloe will be punishing Arya for being a little bit just too playful with her prey.
So remember what I said 30 seconds ago about not being over cocky and overconfident and going for stupid peaks?
Yeah.
Arya, chill.
Arya most definitely needs to chill, but with the plant now down, it's all up to Chloe and Jordan, the two chunky operators in face of Doc and Maestro, to try to retake the site and claw their victory back in here.
Chunky boys on the prowl. One's going to go down. That's Jordan. Minxie finding that kill, and it's all up to Chloe. She'll find the first. One more to her left.
Position compromised.
Not going to be able to get that kill either. So Yummy Steaks to clean up this round. And right now, Trinity are unstoppable.
7th round in a row now claiming for themselves. Certainly looking like Trinity, even on attack, just they do not know fear. Just going in, enjoying their life, playing it out to however they want, to the point where Arya is trying to 360 peek the corner onto the side, which eventually did get her punished, but gotta say that does require quite some confidence. There we go. That's the word.
My go-to is Kynez. As the Echo from Chloe is going to get 6 picked out for Goyo.
Okay.
Interesting choice there. No, he doesn't feel super confident on the Echo. That's all right. As we head into round 3, Trinity. Such a strong start for them.
If all, I reckon it would have been completely the opposite. Well, if she was confident on Echo, tease in the Goyo and then go for the Echo, because then Trinity will be looking at dealing more with the actual utility, bringing in more breaches and less maybe of an IQ or Twitch. And so that could have potentially helped Trinity there. Sorry, not Trinity, NootNoot there to grab the utility at the very least win. But instead, it's the opposite. Chloe's positioning of the Vulcan shields could be good, but they could also work against them if utilized well by the attack. And well, for now, it seems that they're just going straight away for a peek at the kitchen window. My goodness. Also, fun fact, only Mazakine is there at the VIP, and she got caught off with nearly her pants down as she was just entering the VIP lounge. And well, right now, she's gonna get hunted down by potentially Arya there. I'm sorry, no. You're not supposed to win those firefights.
Yeah, look, it just in general has not been a good start here for NootNoot. Chloe, the only player with any kills. She's got 4 of them. Rest of her teammates sitting on those juicy donuts. That's just making me hungry because I've got one waiting for me for dessert, so...
Ooh. Are those the, like, Krispy Kreme donuts?
Nah, just Coles, I reckon.
Hey, that's not bad as well. Well, Rachel will be...
Coles donut.
Yeah, I mean, Rachel does swap out the Coles donut for a bit of a breadstick. So
breadsticks come through.
Not a bad beginning. Managing to trade out, 2 for 1, but Minxie was a pretty strong operator all in all.
Don't mind me a big ass either, so Rachel trying to stay up here. Capital asphyxiation bolts are just raining down on her right now.
Ooh. Chloe did a little bit of a switcheroo, managing to push herself into the sunrise, and will be actually finding the shot onto Arya. That is the top fragger of Trinity, as now the remainder of the Trinity roster will need to start pulling out some plays. Cripps is still sitting on a 100 point, where it's a 1 kill and no deaths, no assists, and well, she just might be able to catch one of the defenders off guard. That's one nice shot onto Jordan, very nice long angle, but there's also the bandit. Oh, does reveal her position, but now Rachel is now fully aware that there is that crossfire. Chloe finds yet another nice kill, but oh, down by the fire arrow, and well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Trinity finding round number 3.
Yeah, she must have just peeked there at the wrong moment, and that's going to be the round in favor of Trinity, unsurprisingly. And NootNoot, they don't seem to have the answers right now.
Yeah, it's definitely... the main kind of big answer here could have been Chloe's flank, as she was the one that is offside. And, well, if Rachel was able to hold on to her position for just a tad bit longer, that would have been a pretty good round for NootNoot to take. But unfortunately, alas, that was not meant to be that way, as Trinity did manage to find a nice swift win there. But kitchen and surface entrance will be a retry here for NootNoot's defense.
Yeah, they're going to have a second
Protect your bombs
attempt.
from being defused by attackers.
Trinity have any say? It's going to be
Attackers have located
shut
a
down
bomb.
quickly again. And what I liked was that Trinity was using all the little holes in the walls and all that NootNoot had made to their advantage, and it felt like that had been put in place for them rather than NootNoot's advantage. So let's see how they approach it this time.
That is definitely a valid point. Yeah, the
Seconds left before insertion.
the way how so far, just all those rotation points seem to have worked out way more in favor of the attack. It's looking very much positive for Trinity.
Defuse the bomb.
Also didn't help the fact that Rachel on a very few occasions would have gone for a peek towards, say, bathroom, but whilst exposing her back to that rotation hole as well. So that general awareness about some of the reinforcements and some of the rotation holes being made is certainly did hurt them quite a little bit. Coney.
Nice early drone usage.
Mm-hmm.
Coney's being tracked. And then she's going to go down. And guess who it is? Arya knocking on the door. She's done with her own toys, so now she's going to her neighbors' places and trying to use their toys, and she's found yet another one. Mazakine's going down again. Arya just running around like she literally designed the maps right now. She's going to find yet another from above. No, not quite.
Oh, yep, yeah, we could see that, yeah.
Sliver of health remaining. Oops, will find Rachel. That's a good thing though. Jordan can heal herself, but it doesn't matter because he's going to find that kill this round. It's a Chloe away from being a 4-0 lead for Trinity right now.
So many angles being held there by Trinity onto Chloe's position. Her position has been fully revealed. She is in Sunrise Bar. There's the flashbangs. There's the stun grenades coming down. There's the drop down. It won't be a flawless round, but Arya will make sure that it will be a swift one nonetheless. I'm sorry, but this is becoming now the game of just how quickly can Arya find the kills. It's not even about Trinity anymore. It's just all purely about Arya and how much can the rest of her roster assist in her finding the first entry kill.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Arya show. If you're just joining us, this is basically a 1v5 right now. And it's all Arya. Having an absolute field day right now.
Oh yeah, she certainly is, and well, her team is definitely going to be quite ecstatic about that. Having 8 rounds in a row, Milboss, that is reaching now to the points of this is just flat out bullying there by Trinity, as they are showing that yes, they fully deserve the top 2, if not the top 1 spot here on the leaderboard of Women's League.
Yeah, well, there were only three round differential behind Vertex at the start of the day. Right now, their round difference is already way better. And by winning these two, they'll be even on wins with Vertex, but this will just put them above them in the round difference, which does net them the first place after the end of the regular season. Still 3 donuts. 0 kills for Connie, Mazakine, and Jordan. Chloe really the linchpin for NootNoot. They're struggling so much to get anything done. And I could talk about the breadstick that Pi is dropping, but at the same time, it doesn't really seem to matter when you've got Arya just going off every single round.
Actually, matter of fact, let's take a look at Arya, because it's been already 20 seconds and she still hasn't found a single kill.
Yeah. Something must be wrong.
And yes, I am memeing about this because so far it's been literally just an absolute just roll here. Instead, it's Crips. Wait, shotgun. Surely that shotgun can find those shots. Instead, it will be just the assault rifle. NootNoot, what's happening?
Yeah, well, Mazakine and Jordan aren't about to get off that donut anytime soon because they're the first 2 fatalities. I'm surprised, though, that Connie has had such a slow start. She's usually one of the stronger players on the team alongside Chloe. Even she hasn't been able to make much work. Chloe's going down. So is the diffuser.
Yeah, with the fire arrows also coming out, Coney's position is now pretty much completely outed. There's a plentiful amount of just pixel angles that are being held, but her run out right in front of all of the Trinity players, right in the open, will be giving Arya yet another frag to add up to her tally. And well, that is all she wrote for the Penthouse defense, as 9 rounds in a row is now also there for Trinity. I mean, I gotta say, first of all, Penthouse defense has been so much out of meta because with the current way how things are going, it is extremely hard to defend. The moment you lose the VIP and the VIP hole, you're pretty much done. Right, it's definitely so far been not the most useful side, but the way how NootNoot been defending it, they had a good idea about how to do it. They had a good idea how to approach it, but alas, just can't find that close.
Yeah, we'll see. See how we go this time around. Back in hooker and billiards, sorry. And last round of the half as well, Trinity. They're going for an infamous trademark 7-0 at this rate.
I mean, we saw a fair few times when NootNoot had a good approach. They were able to get it really close to 1v1s, 1v2s, especially on the previous map. And they had a really valiant effort there. Maybe here on the Hookah Lounge and Billiards, they might be able to close it out. As bringing in a Goyo for this very hold is not a bad idea per se, because if you say place it down around the hookah area right at the entrance, you can deny some of the push from the get-go. But also bringing in a Goyo shield right at the Cool Vibe stairs is also not a bad idea. Oh, hello, this is a new angle. Coney, nice aggression at the very beginning to shut down Minxie, and that is going to be a very nice opening kill here for NootNoot's potential push here for the first round win here.
See what Arya is able to do. I think she ended on about 13, 14 kills in map number 1. Looking to potentially top that here. Chloe, though, that's a huge kill. Now giving them the 2-woman advantage. Good start to this round here for NootNoot. Finally finding some kind of avenue into the game. But the problem is that if they don't have a good offensive side lined up, ready to go, this could be a problem for them. Not to mention, this is Trinity's map pick, so I'm not surprised that they aren't doing so well, but
what is
really
also
is something for them.
What is also interesting to me is that there's only 2 drones remaining here for Trinity, and it shows that this time finally NootNoot was able to find those early picks, and finding the shots onto Arya as well, shutting her down. It's a good beginning. Now it's all up to Yummy Steaks and Pie, and as those 2 players weren't able to really find a whole bunch of kills, so this is going to be the prime time here for NootNoot to take the advantage and find themselves the point, which could potentially start their comeback here as well. Who knows?
Well, they need a spark to light the fire.
Such a close angle. Oh, Jordan.
No.
Very unfortunate for her to lose at that opportunity, but there's still quite a short amount of time. Well, somewhat short amount of time. 50 seconds remaining to go here for Trinity to make any move. And well, right now for NootNoot, they need to be extra careful before they take any firefights. Rachel to go down to the hands of Yummy Steaks, and well, right now numbers are starting to shrink a little bit, as now it is only one player disadvantage.
Yeah, it's starting to down to the wire a little bit, and this is definitely doable. Yummy and Pie, they both have full HP. Not all she wrote yet. Connie is super low. Mazakine still hasn't found a kill. Connie finally has. Trying to find a second there as well. That's huge. Now at least just Pie. She does have the diffuser, but Connie's going to get a 3k and win out this round for NootNoot, finally getting on the board. And that's a good a good way back into it, but problem is they have to now keep this momentum going on the offensive side, and Trinity, you can be damn sure that they are not going to be an easy team to beat.
Yeah, taking Trinity on defense is one thing, as you're able to partially dictate the pace, but with attack you can do somewhat of a similar thing if you are able to find those early peaks, because what we saw here is the moment Coney had that very unconventional peak and very much a surprise peak for Trinity, and as she managed to find the shot onto Minxie, it was very much already slowing down Trinity and forcing them to be a little bit more careful, more cautious on their aggression. And when that slowdown came in play, this is where NootNoot were able to emphasize of that mistake. So possibly here, if NootNoot will be very careful about their push. I mean, they have so much utility, so many operators that can deal with pretty much anything that Trinity can throw at them utility-wise. They just might be able to take control. Say they go in for the push into the office, have 2 drones droning out for one of the players, for one of the entry fraggers, say Jordan, or better yet for that matter, actually Coney. Have them ensure that there's no flank in the security room, no congestion at least close by at the doorway, and then you have, and then you try to take control of the A side with the breach going. So as soon as that happens, there's no yet openings on the soft wall, which will allow NootNoot to have a pretty easy plant to go there. And after that, in a post-plant situation, this could be quite a tricky situation for Trinity to take over. So there are ways for NootNoot to win, and they are quite plentiful.
Aria, unsurprisingly, is going to find the first frag, this time onto Rachel. 11 kills for her now. And not the greatest start here for NootNoot, but let's see if they can't bring this one back. Crypt has taken a little bit of damage, so it's going to be a bit easier to kill her. Problem is, though, it's their hard breacher down. That's not what you want to see.
Well, even with the hard breacher down, NootNoot can make the big move here, because they have the crossfire. That is the one big thing. And if they manage to get rid of this very Goyo shield that is right by the IQ, with Mazakin, if she would have stayed alive in the kitchen, there would have been a great crossfire there. But alas, unfortunately, that's the particular case. Well, for now, it is a 3v5. They can salvage it, but they will need to make a big rotation here, as I believe Crips is about to... No, that's Minxie about to go for a jump out. There's the peak as she runs ahead. Does actually spot one of the defenders that does manage to emphasize of that before getting traded out. So good play of that by Chloe, as she does manage to not allow Trinity to run away with that frag scot-free.
Oh, no, the cross there. Jordan got tagged by a couple of closed bullets, but Chloe is able to find a kill, so 2 versus 3 now.
Yeah, still very now with plenty of time there also for NootNoot to go in for the push, but right now they need to find those wins in the gunfights, as Arya does find some good down onto Jordan. All up to Chloe to try to win this, as right now IQ is in unrecoverable position. C4 to be flying in to finish her off. There it is. As now in a 1v3 situation, Chloe might need to consider to reposition herself. Maybe going for the push through the office, as there's still some time to go in for a rotation, rather than try to contest the long angles against the beast that is Arya.
Yeah, I mean, Arya, she's getting very confident here, and she peaked it. Chloe took her down to just about 5 HP, so that could be one of the difference makers. But I 100% agree with you. You know, they know where you are. They're just going to hold angles and force you to push in from there. Rotation probably would have been your best bet. Because now she's only got 10 seconds to find 3 kills or get this bomb down. She's going to find the first onto Arya coming from behind. Still got 2 more to go. Yummy steaks and pie. All they have to do is stay hidden. They don't have to peek. And that's going to be Trinity winning their 6th round. And they are at match point.
Trinity at match point, flexing once again their prowess against most of the team minus Verdicts in Women's League. Certainly does show that very thing. But for now, for NootNoot, it was still a pretty close effort. It was, they had, once again, good idea, but just wasn't able to close some of the plays out. And, well, it is potentially the final round. Match point between these two teams, and Hookah Lounge and Billiards will be the potential decider, albeit that I'd love to see get some more rounds from NootNoot, because they seem to be very... They have potential. That is the big thing for them, as they have potential to be great. They have potential to push themselves even further. But right now against Trinity, just things were not working out quite well. The timings sometimes were off in the most unfortunate moments for them. Some of the gunfights didn't particularly go well, as just players like Arya were able to shut things down very early into the round. And what NootNoot did manage to demonstrate before was, if they are the ones that are able to find the initial frag and kind of curb that that initial aggression, that initial confidence of Trinity, then they can very much take the control of the pace in their favor. So on the tech here, looking at their lineup, I mean, they have probably one of the more stock standard lineups, as Coney needs to be pretty much the one to go for a run out, as it is Cribs that tries to go get some early spawn peaks, but to no avail, as I believe the whole roster actually did spawn, well, mostly spawned on the north side as well. Cribs, just as I switch off her, just decides to find the kills there.
Yeah, Aria's going to find a second one onto her Rachel now, and dire straits. By the looks of things for NootNoot, but no, Chloe, she's going to get the trade onto Aria. It's one of those things, do you play for that aggression? Do you predict it? Or how do you counter someone being so annoying like Aria is? And they've been able to do it this round, so... woman advantage to Trinity, but don't count NootNoot out just yet. I think it's fair to say for the most part of this series, you know, a lot of people during this period of self-isolation have been going and buying 1,000-piece puzzles. Well, NootNoot, they've lost a couple of the pieces, but they're now just finding them down in the back of the couch and underneath the coffee table and putting them back into the puzzle, because here we go. They're actually going to win this one. By the looks of things, Yummy Steaks 1 versus 3. This is nicely done here by NootNoot.
I really like the fact that Mazagin actually already was on site and was able to find that early aggression. Does actually know about the exact position of Yummy Steaks, but will get shut down pretty quickly by that pump action. Now all up to Jordan to try to bring this back, as well as Chloe, as both of them have made entrance to the side, and while they have the long angle capabilities and the pre-fire does come out, but does not grease even Yummy Steaks as well. There's the crossfire. NootNoot do manage to finally find themselves yet another round, and that is a good start here for themselves, as they did show that just, if you try to just show the similar case of aggression, they just might be able to find those wins here.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that they've sort of struggled with, is that early aggression, and so countering that in whichever way they seem fit is their best bet at bringing this one to a tie game, which it will be if they're able to bring it to 6-6, as we don't have overtime activated for the regular season games. And of course, this is the last map of the regular season. After this, we go into the finals. We've got the 3rd, 4th place playoff, which is going to be likely between VikingArmy and NootNoot. And that's coming up on Sunday, and then the grand final next Wednesday between Trinity, and Vertex. So that's going to be a huge couple of series coming up in the next few days. But let's keep our focus at hand on the task at hand. Is NootNoot, they're trying to fight their way back into this one.
And with some of the amends that Trinity so far has made, Yummy Steaks will be actually bringing in an Echo, the operator that we've been talking quite a fair bit about at the beginning of this matchup, where he does require quite some micromanagement here, as his Echo drones are quite hard to manage, whilst also being a part of some of those firefights. And, well, Yummy Steaks will just see that challenge for herself. Whereas for NootNoot, they managed to show that, hey, they can make their way onto the side, they can get that aggression, and they can be very much unpredictable, as shown in round number 7. Wait, pardon, no, 8. As this has been a much better showcase. Ooh, a bit of an early firefight. Cripps trying to contest with Jordan, as she does bring a shield fuse. Now that is unusual sight, considering that usually it's the AK that being found. A nice early kill by Mazikeen onto Minxie, as that is once again the first person to go down, as Jordan is actually down but needs to get traded out here, as Cripps is very much on just about half health. So her run out could here either give her demise, or we'll find her yet another frag here.
I think it was a smart choice there by Cripps not to aggress the downed player, just mainly because she is a little bit lower, but also Jordan had a lot of her friends around her. Speaking of though, Mazikeen, she's going to get dropped out here. Aria's going to find a kill onto Rachel. Nice to see Jordan started to pick it up a little bit in the kills department in the last couple of rounds, but they need to do a little bit more, and she can't. She's out of action. Chloe and Connie, last two here.
Yeah, we'll be trying to find some shots through the window, but it is Chloe. She is an absolute menace, and she is the person that keeping NootNoot's dream alive. 15 kills so far. She's been just the absolute beast for her team, and, well, in 2v3, it's still very much clutchable. Only one player disadvantage. And Cripps is quite low on health. Can be taken out pretty quickly. Coney, unfortunately, will be going down to the hands of Arya. Now all up to Chloe to try to bring this back, to clutch this out, to push NootNoot in yet another round for them to play.
Yeah, I mean, like we've been talking about Arya all game long about how good she's been, but Chloe, because she's on the losing team, she's gone under the radar a little bit, but she's super weak here. She's going to get dropped, and that is going to be all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of the regular season of the Women's League, and Trinity, with a very dominant series, are able to take the cheddar home. And now, with these 2 wins in the bag, they have shot themselves up to the top of the leaderboard. Regular season champions here, Trinity. Congratulations. Of course, though, it is not the end for NootNoot, as they will be going into that 3rd, 4th playoff next week, or on Sunday, rather. It's not too far away, but in the meantime, they're going to have to be happy with 3rd, 4th place.
I mean, it's still yeah, a very valiant effort that NootNoot pulled off here. They still managed to show throughout the whole season that they were very much able to pull off some mean plays out there for themselves. So it's not all done, like you said, so they still have some more games to be played, and I'm very much excited to see them to come out as well. While this is a loss for them, this most certainly does give them plentiful of VOD material to go over to perfect their craft here.
100%, and they're going to be going up against a ever-improving VikingArmy team that we've just seen go from weakness to strength in a matter of a couple of weeks, and it's really nice to see. But that's going to do it for the regular season. I'm surprised it's all over. I'm a bit sad it's all over, but we do have still, yes, those final games coming up. So Sunday, we're going to have the 3rd place playoff between NootNoot and VikingArmy, and then, of course, the grand finals next Wednesday. It's going to be a massive week of Rainbow Six Siege here in the Women's League. Of course, we hope you guys have all loved watching it. We've loved casting it. Well, I'm sure I have. Don't want to speak too much for you, Cthulhu, but I'm hoping you have too. As we head into the final games of the season, it's going to be a cracker. Thank you, of course, to everyone behind the scenes at XP Esports. Go follow us on Twitter, XP Esports Oz over there. Follow the stream to stay up to date, so you can always come back and check it on out. Of course, our sponsors for the league as well have been amazing, helping us get this all running. Legion Energy, Computer Alliance, and ZQ Racing have all been massive helps for us. But that does it for the regular season. I mean, anything else to add before we close this one out tonight?
Look, I've seen a fair few of the really close games. Some of them were complete shutouts. Some of them were just complete demonstrations of power between some of the teams. And, well, while some of the teams probably received the results that they weren't really expecting and probably wanted some more, it's still, at the very least, it's still experienced. It's still some good fun for some of those teams.
Yeah.
It was some really nice friendly rivalry between some of them. So honestly, all in good fun, all in good heart. And I mean, congratulations today to Trinity and VikingArmy for claiming their wins.
Yeah, I mean, big props to both teams for winning their series tonight. VikingArmy going to have another one to go. Unfortunately, this does mean that we're not going to see any more of Enix. They have ended their run in Season 1, but all things go according to plan. We will have more seasons ahead for them to play in. And, of course, this is, as you say, a learning experience for a lot of these girls. They haven't really been super involved in competitive Rainbow Six, maybe some other games or whatever. So coming over and giving it a try, it's really been an awesome season and an awesome thing to be a part of. I've absolutely loved doing this. So thank you to everyone who's tuned in any of the nights for as short or as long as you did for making this possible. Without you guys, there's no point in us doing this. So thank you. And we will see you in just a few days. Sunday, we're going to have that third place playoff. We will see you then.